Warm greetings of the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Sorry, I've been a little bit late with the commentary. I will be bringing you commentary pertaining to Donald and Candy Wells speaking with Dr. Phil. I will also be playing audio from the news outlet and bringing forth my synopsis of what I viewed as far as day one in the interview of Dr. Phil talking to two behavior panel guests, hosts rather, and then the second day, which was yesterday on Friday, the second installment of the bio donor speaking with Dr. Phil pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Hello. How are you, dear? Hi, GB. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and play some audio pertaining to this storyline. WJHL is the source. Thank you all so much. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, Queen's been very busy trying to get it together, honey. Sorry I'm late.
Thank you. Well, this morning, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says that misinformation is on the rise surrounding the case of missing Summer Wells.
TBI says they've conducted several search warrants and have collected any potential digital evidence, including with social media accounts.
Adding that they continue working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to find out what happened to the missing Hawkins County child.
This morning, the fate of Summer Wells still unknown.
Now, WJHL has led coverage as we've taken you across the community in the search for the missing 5-year-old. Ansley Daniel has a look at the timeline of events since Summer disappeared on June 15th.
Summer Wells is missing. She's 5 years old. She's 4 foot tall, blonde hair. Last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray pants.
That late night announcement launched a massive ground search at first light the next day.
With distinctive dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover.
Daily media briefings continued for 10 straight days. They ended on June 24th.
While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm.
2 days following the last of those press conferences, the TBI announced they were searching for a late model red Tacoma truck seen in the area around the time Summer went missing. Another 2 days after that, we heard from Summer's mother for the first time. Candace Bly's only daughter had been missing almost 2 weeks.
And my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said, okay.
The day we heard from the mother was the same day the reward fund was finalized. Authorities also closed the active search. In September, Summer was featured on In Pursuit with John Walsh, and the reward fund surpassed $40,000. On October 4th, Summer's father, Don, wanted to speak with News Channel 11. 111 days had passed since his daughter disappeared.
I just don't feel that that's right, that they're just going to give up on her. In a couple more months.
That same day, the Churchill Rescue Squad's reward fund was extended into the following year. Almost a week later, on October 10th, the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said they were still taking tips and looking for that red truck.
This is Don Candace Wells. This is our YouTube channel.
Almost 4 months after their daughter was reported missing, Don and Candace Wells started a family YouTube channel and a website, findsummerwells.com.
We'll help pray to God that we can find our daughter. We can't thank you enough. There's nothing we can do to thank you all enough, but just to thank you and praise our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Social media stardom turned to a social embarrassment 2 weeks later. Don Wells was pulled over on a suspicion of DUI and arrested while live on YouTube. Wells was later charged with a probation violation and released on his own recognizance. In Rogersville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Thank you, Ansley. And later on this afternoon, Don Wells and Candace Bly will be speaking about their missing daughter in front of a national TV audience on the Dr. Phil Show. You can watch that right here on News Channel 11 at 4 o'clock. Another episode airs tomorrow as well. And after News Channel 11, we'll continue to take an in-depth look at the search for Summer. In-depth coverage continues through the evening, starting today at 5 o'clock, as we hear more from Don Wells on the problems in his first on-camera interview following his DUI and violation of probation charges, and since Dr. Phil was filmed.
Right now, the Amber Alert's still active this morning for Summer Wells and will remain that way until she is found. If you have any credible information about where Summer could be, you are asked to submit tips and leads to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. WJHL is the source for that said information. If you have any viable, credible information, please call 1-800-TBI-FINE in regards to the disappearance of Summer Wells. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to try to be very brief because I have several audios that I'm going to play, and then I'm going to recap day 1 and day 2 of the Dr. Phil Show. Thanks for joining me. As most of you know, on Monday, it will mark 5 months that this poor child has been missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee, and Summer's fate remains a mystery. News Channel 11 has led coverage and access as we've taken you to Summer's front door for conversations with her parents and a community that wants her found. Thursday and Friday, Summer's parents, Don Wells and Candace Bly, appeared on the Dr. Phil Show in their first national TV interview. News 11 compiled a timeline of events beginning from the initial missing child report to the continued search for Summer Wells. This information by WJHL, if you want to go in to verify, just recaps the initial day that Summer Wells was reported missing. I will not recap any of that information because most of you who follow the story already know the synopsis of her going missing. I'm now going to bring you other commentary pertaining to this case. Thank you for joining me. This information is posted on my community page. If you all need verification, hello, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining me on this cold Saturday. Yes. Holidays are approaching. Thank you all so much for the listening, following. If you want to donate to the channel, $DeGanji 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. We're going to get started. This is going to be a very interesting live, I'm sure, because I have so much to bring to you. My head is spinning. I damn near ran off the road trying to listen to day 2's interview, and I was already in a funky mood. Once again today, I had some stuff on my mind, and I was like, man, I can't drive this car and listen to Candy, whoever, and Papa Joe talk about this baby. I'm not getting ready to wreck my damn good car fooling with these rednecks out of Hollerville. Yeah, I said that. So what? Channel 11 News, WJHL, widespread disappearance of Summer Wells goes beyond Beach Creek community, uploaded 7 hours ago. Thanks for joining me. 1 second. If you need verification, WJHL, I recommend you subscribe to their channel. That way you get all the updates pertaining to this case. Thank you.
All with one goal, though, for her to be found.
We would rather not do these things at all. We'd rather our life to go back to normal.
Thank you, Jackie.
We just wish Summer could come home.
The Wells' recent trip to LA to film for Dr. Phil brought up a lot of pain from the months their daughter went missing.
It's brought up a lot of emotion, very emotional.
The older children of the Wells family are in custody of Child Protective Services, a continual reminder of their lives being upside down, especially during the filming.
All these kids running around on that beach just having an awesome time.
Hey.
And here we are alone. It seems like alone when you ain't got your kids, when you've had them all this time, and then all of a sudden you don't have them.
As Summer's parents make their plea on national television for people to share information about what happened to their daughter, media requests to investigators about the case from Beach Creek have also piled in.
The media, not only in Upper East Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee and Fox News and everybody else contact me in my office with information about this.
Have you ever encountered anything like this in your career?
Talking about missing child to this magnitude, no. I've been through a lot in the last 44 years. Seen a lot, investigated a lot, but this is one of the top ones.
The magnitude also spreading to social media and content creation on YouTube, oftentimes allowing rumors to spread.
Majority of it's been a hindrance because a lot of the information that we get, it's the same information that we've went over time after time after time. We really don't pay a whole lot of attention to social media because...
Thank you, Justice.
Yeah, it's really nothing to do with this case because, like I said, 99% of it's false.
The toll...
That leaves a void in your life because we want to find her.
And wonder of what happened to Summer, even when in California for Dr. Phil, weighs heavy.
You realize Summer is somewhere that she's probably doesn't want to be probably locked up or being, hurt in some way. And when we're there on that beautiful beach, and our daughter is who knows
Oh
where.
my gosh.
You can watch all of our recent
Chew
series
my
as
paw
well
off.
as everything dating back to the night she was reported missing on the Search for Summer section of our website.
Ansley thinks investigators are still asking for the public's help for anyone who may have heard,
Thank you,
seen,
Molly.
or know anything about Summer's disappearance. Call 1-800-TBI-FIND and leave a tip.
All right. That's my second source of information. WJHL once again. Okay, Donna Wells, let me say this to you directly from the Queen. You and Candy was on the beach. You was on the beach because you went looking for Dr. Phil and he let you come up on his stage and talk. But you didn't care about Summer or those boys living a good, clean, decent life right here in Tennessee up on that mound that you lived in. So you got a lot of nerve to say, oh, we was on the beach walking and it was so pretty and she's probably somewhere locked up. Well, if she's somewhere locked up, it's probably because you orchestrated wherever the hell she is and she locked up. I said I wasn't going to get crunk during this live. Oh, Satan, I can't. Man, you know how to pour it on thick, homeboy. Lord have mercy. That's source number 2. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm sick of these folks. Woo, here comes the best one. I don't know. I'm going to say the best one for last. Because you know I'm going to eat her alive. Source number, let's see. I'm on number 3 now. WJHL once again. It's the source. And this may be the same commentary pertaining to WJHL, but we're going to play it anyway. It's 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Don Wells addresses recent arrest and interview, maintains Summer was abducted. WJHL is the source. Thank you all so much for joining me. Most of my commentary is WJHL if you need verification.
Troubles wasn't the plan, leaving Hollywood after filming that Dr. Phil show you just saw here on News Channel 11. But not long after their return to Northeast Tennessee, missing 5-year-old Summer Wells' father was arrested on suspicion for DUI.
Then again in court the following Monday for that being a violation of his probation. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel was able to ask him how the ongoing attention will help find his daughter. She's live in the studio tonight. Ansley?
Josh and Sarah, this was Don's first on-camera interview since going to LA and coming back home, and since those charges on him have mounted. Now, he told me, though, that he knows he's no media darling.
I have lost control. I've done stupid things, and for that I apologize.
Confessions of a father who says he has struggled emotionally since the disappearance of his daughter. And that's not all.
We've had problems with threats and violence and all kind of things like that, and it's been dangerous.
It's clear how many think of him.
It's been dangerous not only for us, but for everybody that we're involved with.
Summer's older brothers were taken by Child Protective Services back in July, a deeper strain now on their parents' marriage.
Me and her have had a lot of problems because of this. We're both just down and miss our kids. Don't exactly know how to deal with all that.
But they stand together in what they think happened to their only daughter.
Me and Candace know for a fact that Summer was abducted. We know that, but...
Can you share with me why you know for a fact or how you know?
Well, the reason that I know is because I know my wife, and I know what kind of emotions and the heartbreak that she's been going through, and the way everything happened when she called me.
Have police given you any information on that or anything pointing to that?
No. That's unheard of.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says that they have found no evidence Summer was abducted.
Why is it our property is any different than any other property where kids are abducted? Why? What makes them think?
Because you live out in the middle of nowhere, that's why.
Abduction can happen here, but everybody
Lord, somebody help me.
It's probable, but not this property.
Thank you, Scott.
Don Wells told us he could not speak about his recent charges based on the advice of his attorney. And just a reminder, though, there has been a gag order placed on the case involving the Child Protective Services that have their older sons.
Okay. WJHL is the source. That's my third source. Let me recap on what this fool said in this commentary. He tells the news reporter that he and Candy have been down. Okay, you're supposed to be down. Your child is missing. Your child is missing. If you have nothing to do with the disappearance of your child, you should be down. You should be distraught. And this is why you are telling on yourself that somehow you and this broad know something about the disappearance of your child, because the things you're doing is not normal behavior for somebody with a missing child. Now, it is said that people act differently in certain circumstances. 2, people behave differently when they are grieving. Well, we can't use the word grieving until we know for sure that Summer Wells is deceased. Now, some of us believe that she is deceased. We're all entitled to our opinion. But you were grieving, it seems, day one. Or am I incorrect in what I'm saying? Your behavior was, what is the word I'm looking for? Ridiculous. Talking about resurrections and this and that, not the appropriate type of terminology to use when a child just got reported missing. It's as if you knew where she was. And I do believe that you and your wife are complicit in knowing something about the disappearance and discarding of Summer Wells. Sold, bartered, she had an accident, hit her head, however you want to word it. These two are complicit. That is my personal opinion. Okay? You know for sure that she was abducted. How do you know for sure? This lady asked this question. I'm so glad she asked. That was the appropriate question to counter with. Well, how do you know? I know my wife. Well, wait a minute. Don't do it, Queen. You know your wife. You didn't know your wife was bringing in men in the house when you was not there. Now, I don't know if you two had some type of arrangement when you went out west to Utah to allegedly look for housing and work, or you really left because you and Candy you two were on the outs. Let's say that, perhaps. And this is just the Queen's assumption. Perhaps you and her were on the outs when you went out west. And you got wind that she was keeping company, come on, Queen, with a fella or two. And it's been said, allegedly, your wife brings in strange men from gas stations, people from the street just walking into the house. She doesn't know them, just brings them in. Well, that shows me a sign that she's lonely. And guess we all get a little lonely sometimes. But not the damn filling station. Come on, Queen. Because a stranger's a stranger. Whether he's in a suit, a doctor suit, or he's just standing at the stop sign holding up the sign. Come on with it, Queen. But you didn't know that about your wife. You didn't know that about Jose. What you know about Jose? Nothing. That's why you ran out of breath trying to get back, because you thought, wait a minute, she done brought a Mexican up in my house. You don't know what Candy Kane's been doing while you've been at work. Come on, Queen. We ain't even got to talk about Utah. We can just talk about the real deal. When the cat is away, the mice will play. She could have had anybody up in your house while you were working, homeboy. You better stay woke, Donald Wells. Because it'd be a shame if something would happen to you and you go missing. Yeah, I'm going to keep it real in this live. Never say you know anybody, because there's no such thing. And Queen is speaking from experience of knowing the worst of man. People who have lied and cheated their entire life. And there's people who aided them and did not know the dirty things they were doing. And some of them they did know, and some they didn't. But the point is, you do not fully know anyone. I will bring you my next commentary. Thank you all for joining me. Ooh, Lordy. Number 4 source, WJHL. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord, just give me strength, please. Neighbor of Summer Wells says she heard a scream shortly before she went missing. This was uploaded to the local news 1 day ago. Thank you for joining me. Hold on, let me get it all the way back.
Across the street from a neighboring property. On mirroring mountains together, they can be described as sentinels which sit high over Ben Hill Road. The night Summer went missing, the neighbor swears that she and her 2 children heard a scream shortly before they joined the search for a now missing Summer Wells.
It's there, but you want to forget.
On the watch and hypervigilant. That's how Jody Sue Brown was the very day Summer Wells went missing.
There's no TV, no noise at all.
Jody Sue was in her cabin with her teenage kids, 19 and 14, waiting for anyone.
We were kind of hyper alert because of property things that had happened the day before. So we were listening for noise. Everything was kind of quiet.
The sale brought a plethora of people to their door, confused about which piece of land was for sale, leading to a dispute of property lines.
While we were out at one point doing survey lines, and there was a flash of a car that went up Candace and Donnie's driveway. Something about it struck me wrong.
She and her family next heard a truck door slamming and dismissed it as their neighbors. The next sound was harder to justify. About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jody Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
Stopped all 3 of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all 3 were there, listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jody Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candace hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candace. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, Summer's brothers the opposite side.
And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency, but the TBI and FBI.
Stop, Barb.
And we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
Jody Sue wishes she could go back to just a short time before Summer disappeared and before the scream she believes was Summer.
I wish every day that when I heard that scream, I hadn't tried to dismiss it.
Referencing the work of the FBI, TBI, and his own deputies, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson reiterated in an interview the same week as Jody Sue's that investigators have found absolutely no proof that an abduction has taken place in the Beach Creek community. Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
All right. Once again, my fourth source, WJHL. Now we have Jody Sue. Before I say what I'm going to say, let me make this clear to Jody Sue, Pookie, Ray Ray, and Bubba Bob. It's no disrespect to you or your damn name, but what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, Jody Sue? Jody Sue, you heard somebody screaming. Why didn't you run over there? Come on, Queen, bring it to him. Why did you not run over there? I'll wait. I hear music playing. Why did you not run over there, Jody Sue? Now you got your son up here talking about what he heard. Somebody ran to the gate, the door to listen, to hear what else they heard. Now we have law enforcement, Mr. Lawson, and let me make this clear in this live about what I'm getting ready to say because he just said it. I do not believe that scream has anything to do with Summer Wells. Lie number 2. Anything that Mr. Wells has told you about drug trafficking back there in that holler ain't no different than anywhere else in the United States, and it ain't as bad as he's making it out to be. Come on with it, Queen. Don't y'all see what's going on here? More people jumping the bandwagon to aid these people's narrative of a child being abducted. Now, lie number 3, they think their child was abducted. Once again, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson has said they do not have any information to lead them to think that Summer Wells was abducted. Exclamation point. Checkmate. Anything else? Why is it everything out of these people's mouths has been dispelled by Sheriff Ronnie Lawson? This is why he told you all to stop believing the gossip, the rumors on the internet. Every time you all hear somebody say the truck was red, the truck was blue, somebody had on a tutu, a dress, dancing in the street, you go run, put it on social media, you go run, spread it in the chat. I done told y'all, stop believing everything that you hear. You didn't see it, you don't know what happened. You weren't there, you don't know what happened. Because the only person that knows is the person or persons involved in getting the child gone. That's the spoken word. Now on to the foolishness of Dr. Phil Day 1. Lord help me, because I'm going to need it. Dr. Phil talked to 2 members of the behavior panel. And it goes something like this. God, I hope I can read my own writing. They showed Don and Candace's home on episode 1, the Dr. Phil show. These 2 members said that they don't believe that there's any indication of your body language that shows deception. But yet on installment number 2, bring it to them, Queen, you contradicted yourself. You basically were saying that it did look like they were showing some type of knowing that something happened to her, which is deception. So it kind of looks like you realize Dr. Phil started out acting like they didn't hurt the kids, but then you were kind of riding with, yeah, well, they are looking a little iffy in episode 2. But in episode 1, you tell us body language can't indicate a person's deception. I don't know if I believe that or not. Candy Kane says she cannot, Candace, go through all of this. So she didn't want to answer any more questions. I'm talking to the behavior panel. Ain't no more to discuss, basically. No more to remember. Well, that's no more to remember, Candy, because you made up this farce in the first place, and you tired of people talking about it. You tired. Well, you're no more tired than I am tired. And you knew these people were going to talk to you, the behavior panel, and you also knew that Dr. Phil was going to talk to you and your husband. So why did you take your fat face out there to California? Ooh, I know the answer. I know the answer, teacher. I want to get on an airplane. I want to ride an airplane all the way to Los Angeles. I want to stay in a nice hotel because I don't have a nice place to stay down in Hollerville. I want to ride it on a plane, and I want to stay in a nice hotel, and I want to get treated like I'm somebody important because really back in Hollerville, nobody looks at me, nobody talks to me, I'm not validated, I'm a nobody, and that's probably the reason why I got rid of my damn kid. Did I clear that up carefully? You're a nobody, 1%er. You need validation. Clout chasers. You and your husband, both. Your husband is the grand narcissist of this group. You all are random people down in that Beach Creek community. Sad part is there's no beach, no water, no sand, and no summer wells. They made commentary that Candy was resistant during this interview with the behavior panel. And Mr. Don had to help her stay seated, sit down so she could continue talking. Yes, good old Donald. Donald has become a nice little crutch for Candace Bly Wells. Do you agree? Yes, he has. He's a nice little crutch because he's the mouthpiece of this farce that we have been listening to for 5 months. The way it all played out, well, we already know that when you use that terminology, when it played out means you know what happened. Come on with it, Queen. School. See, the way it played out is street talk, even for the holler. How it played out is, have you ever watched First 48? Have you ever watched street people give a rendition of what happened on June 15th? Come on with it, Queen. See, it don't matter if you blue, white, red, Mexican, Jew, Arab. When you say how it all played out, tells me you know how it played out because you was there. That part. Donald goes around and around and around, talking in circles. And they asked him, did he have any questions pertaining to Candy on that fateful day? Does he have any questions? But he talks in circles when they ask him that question. Do you have any questions towards Candy about that day, June 15th? And Donald's reply is talking in circles. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he should have had a tutu on and dancing on his tippy toes. That part. One of the guys said that Don likes to edit the conversation before he speaks. He's thinking about what he needs to say first. And only people who are attempting to deceive the other one who's asking the questions will pause before answering. Let me think about what I'm going to say to you next. Let me think first. They asked him about, do you know who did this? Anybody in the family could have done this. He answers no 3 times. Candy becomes teary-eyed when the mentioning of the cornbread mafia comes up. Why is that, Candy? Why are you crying? Of course, in episode 2, you made mention why. Because it was terrible thinking of the mafia having ties to your child. And Donald made sure to speak up on that himself. Is it perhaps that you're guilty? That's why you're crying. You know what happened to Summer Wells. You are the orchestrator or the person that passed her off alive or dead. That is why you're crying. What is the truth? Any reason your wife would want to hurt Summer? He answered no. He was asked what should happen to somebody who did this to Summer, took Summer Wells, apprehended. Candy says they should be put away for the rest of their lives, tormented. So, Candy, if indeed you and Donald Wells are the culprits, should we put you all away for the rest of your lives? Should we, the civilians, law officials, judicial system, torment you? Hello, John. Thank you for joining me. Should we pull off your big toe, Candy? Because you do have some mighty big toes for a lady. Should we start with your big toe? They always say start from the bottom and work your way up. Interesting. See, if we were in China, you stole something, cut off your fucking hand. We don't need your feet. Because everybody knows you need them good old hands to do everything. So Candy came, Candy. Donald, gonna ask you, should we put you and Candy away and torment you two? If indeed you two are the culprits in getting pretty baby Summer gone. And abuse to your other children, because I also believe that you abuse the other children as well. I'm going to go on the record and say I think you abuse your other children. I'm going to call a spade a spade. The panel basically saying they felt unsure of what to say, that she felt Candy was unsure of what to say. They said something about hard feelings shown to be spoken. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Mentioning of organized crime back there in the holler. Donald Wells mentions that some things were stolen from them. They were targets. Donald, what the hell are you talking about? Who are you? What did they steal, Donald Wells? Please enlighten me. I would like to know. What did somebody steal from your house? You're going to break an ankle trying to climb the damn driveway, Donald Wells. Why would I risk breaking my ankle to steal from your shed? You mentioned that in episode 2. They stole stuff from your shed, your tools. What tools did they steal? You mean to tell me you live in Hollerville and you won't even buy a lock for the shed? Come on, Queen, bring it to them. Spit that knowledge, because they think we're slow. I'm round the corner from you, Donald Wells. What the hell are you talking about? They stole your stuff. Well, put a damn lock on the shed. Where's the security? Ding, 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 ding. See, I keep telling you all, you don't pay attention to what's obvious. That's why you know this is bullshit about Summer Wells. Somebody that came and stole your baby. So you said to the law, to Dr. Phil, to the panel, Pookie, Boo Boo Keys, everybody you want to talk to, but you ain't got no damn surveillance cameras on your damn house. You ain't got no surveillance cameras inside your mansion. You ain't got nothing on the bottom tree at the beginning of the drive. You can't go put up no gates. You know how to put up stuff, fix stuff. You a man, ain't you? You don't know how to go to the lumber yard, Home Depot, Lowe's, and make makeshift gates. Come on with it, Queen. Spit that knowledge, because ain't nobody stupid but somebody that's cut from the same cloth as the Wells. You can build a gate, kind of like build a bear. Put it together, frame by frame, stick by stick, stone by stone. Make a gate. Make it work. Come down the drive, unlock it, close it back, go on your merry way. Come home, unlock it, go up the drive, lock it back. So the next time when Bubba decides he wants to come gangster style up to your plantation to rob you, he's going to be surprised when he sees he can't come up the drive. That means he got to come through the dog trail to come get your goodies again. Now, who's going to want to do that to rob little old Donald Wells and Candy Bly Wells? What the hell you got up there worth me catching a damn robbery charge? Now, let's really go to the belly of the beast on that, since Pandora's box has been opened. Donald, are you and Candy Cane manufacturing narcotics up there? That's something ain't none of y'all ever said in the chat, and I ain't heard none of you say it on nobody's channel. So let's go there. Are you drug dealers, Mr. Wells? Because I find it strange. You don't got no security and you back up in them woods the way you is. And you've been robbed. So everybody knows that once the Phantom has come up the drive or through the dog trail to rob me, I'm going to do my best to make sure he or she or they don't return. And when they do return, it's going to be showtime. Stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. targets. Once again, why would a random person target you and Candy? For what reasons? What do you all have up there that would make you be a target? You just told us in episode 2, you don't hang with nobody, you don't fool with nobody, you don't get down no type of way. But then Dr. Phil let that be known, you did do something with somebody at some point in talking about relations to somebody coming up there to take your child. So let's say you cleaned your life up, you in the church, you did mention that. Woo, amazing how you love to bring up that church. That's episode 2. I'm bouncing back and forth, forgive me. So we got to go there. If you're hanging with the church, then what are we talking about? We got gangster church members that like to steal and rob, and we do know that we all sin and fornicate. You can't go to church and praise the Lord and be a habitual thief, write bad checks, steal from your mama's bank account, your sister's account, credit card fraud. You know what I'm saying. Can I get an amen? So what you saying, Donna? Folks from the church grimy? Ooh. So what you saying? I'm going to keep it real. See, this is what I keep telling folks, why you're supposed to keep your mouth closed. You really ain't learned nothing by being on social media. See, YouTube ain't taught you nothing. TikTok ain't taught you nothing. And Facebook ain't taught you nothing. But you come over here to Big Gal's Playhouse, and I'll teach you a thing or two about why you should keep your mouth closed. You see, it's an old saying we say in the street. Black folks say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So that means, come on with it, Queen, school them. You want to get fed because you keep opening your mouth. And so now that your mouth stays open, you're showing us that you're hungry and thirsty for attention. You see, you've learned nothing, Donald Wells. Who told you that social media was going to help you find your baby? I'll wait. How has social media helped you find Summer Wells? How has social media helped you and your wife better your lives? How has social media helped you get your children back? Come on with it, Queen. They've done none of those said things because we can't help you do a damn thing because we can't help our damn selves. So we surely can't help two misfits out of Hollerville. Checkmate. Stay woke. I've been woke. Once again, why would somebody cry on the conversation of Cornbread Mafia? It has been told it's not that serious out there. Donald Wells is orchestrating and making up all this stuff for attention. And people are falling for it and passing it along. And this is what Mr. Lawson was saying about the rumors and rhetoric in the commentary I brought you this evening. 9 times out of 10, he don't believe nothing that's been said from nobody giving information pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. It's nothing but he said and she said and they said and Pookie said and Bubba said. But there's been no truth to nothing coming out of Donald Wells' mouth, Candy Wells, or social media. So what does that tell you? And also information from the FBI themselves. We don't got nothing. I tell y'all, stay woke. Stop listening at that bullshit. You said you try to steer clear of them folks, them troublemakers. But yet you get in your car and get drunk to go buy cigarettes. Okay. I'm confused. The panel mentioned about Candy's mouth running, dragging. What the hell are y'all talking about? She doesn't show any emotions when she talks about her child, which they find odd. Dr. Phil says possibly it's fear, it's guilt. Why Candy doesn't show any emotion. But they feel like 2 members from the panel, the behavior panel, that there should be some emotion when talking about your child because your child is currently missing. And that is a normal thing to say. But there are people who are emotionless. And one could say, well, my goodness, how could you bear children and be emotionless? Well, let me think about that for a minute. It's called sperm and an egg. Two people lie down and have sex. Voila, 9 months later, somebody had a baby. That didn't mean anything special. It's only special to two people who wanted a kid. Ting, ting, ting. It's not special to somebody who doesn't know how to be a parent, was never loved, never taught anything, empty inside. So what? It's just a baby. It's only a big deal to you because you wanted a baby, perhaps. You were taught to love. You are lovable. Keeping it real. Fear and guilt, Dr. Phil says, possibly why Candy doesn't show any emotions. Candy, why didn't you get your nails done? You got all these people gossiping on YouTube that Dr. Phil put teeth in your mouth. Veneers. I told you I'll stop that gossiping. Doesn't matter. I want to know why you didn't get your nails done. You got your hands up with this broken blue fingernail polish. I know you love the color blue. I love blue too. I'm kind of a turquoise teal blue kind of gal myself. But I think you like royal blue a lot because you love wearing that damn broke ass blue tank top with no bra. Now you sitting up here with a blue jean jacket on and blue broke up fingernail polish. Candy, you couldn't have went to Walmart and got a clear coat of polish. Dollar Tree sells fingernail polish. I'll wait. You just don't care about yourself. You just don't give a damn. Dr. Phil said you could tell during the interview with her talking to the panel, she wanted out. That's why she's jumping up. Want to walk out. She wants out. She wants a way out. She wanted a way out. I got a glimmer of her teeth, so y'all see it. But this wasn't helping me. Oh, that's what she said. Oops, I'm sorry. She want to know why y'all asking her all these questions. Y'all not helping her. See, that's a form of deflection. Everything about these interviews is deflection at its finest. Y'all ain't helping me. I need some help. Well, heifer, you ain't missing. The hell you saying? Y'all ain't helping me. See, that's a narcissist. That's a self-centered ass attitude. You're not helping me. Well, I don't need to help you because I know 9 times out of 10, you're the reason Summer Wells is missing. So what the hell am I supposed to do? Help you do what exactly? I can't sew, so I can't sew your big ass a damn bra. I can't tell you how to get your nails done. You know what a damn Dollar Tree is. You know how to find cigarettes and drink. I bet you know how to find the dope man house, but you can't find the Dollar Tree to get your clear coat of nail polish. You can't go to Lane Bryant and buy your damn bra. Stop dicking us around, homegirl. Where is your baby? I'm sick of you and Donna Wells. If you two talk to one more damn person, I'm going to dye my hair platinum blonde. I'm serious. Why do you two keep talking to people? How many more people can you talk to? And we still have the same answer. Where is Summer Wells? Oh, mercy. I have no words for what I've been watching. They talk about you dropping your head. Your chin drops. There's a reason for that. You clutching your coat like you were scared. A little child. Scared. No, mommy, don't hit me, mommy. Don't hit me. I'll be good. I'll be good, mommy. You see, Candy, you're still a child. The reason why you had no business rearing children. Again, because you're still childlike. It's the reason why you were hanging with boy H. You have the mind of a child. You see, it says in the scripture, since you all love quoting Bible scriptures, that when you get to a certain age, you ought to put away childish things. Come on, Queen. But you can't put it away because you're still a child. We know Donald likes children. Obviously, he chose you for a mate. Come on, Queen, school him. Donald likes children. That's obviously. He likes young people. Let me clarify that before I get in trouble. You were childlike when he met you. Codependent, still codependent. He needed you just as you needed Donald Wells. Like minds attract. The sad part is that you all procreated outside of one another and together, and one of those children is missing and the other are in the state's care. Hopefully the boys are doing well. Amen. You're trying to avoid being asked questions. That's why you're dropping your head, clutching your coat. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt her. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Yes, you did. That's why you jumping up, walking out of there. As they used to say in the street, the block is hot. The block was hot up in there. You were hot. The subject matter's hot. You want it out because you know you did something to Summer Wells. That's why I keep trying to tell everybody everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story. And you sitting up there in front of Dr. Phil and that behavior panel, you finally have revealed who you are. Candy, Bly, Wells, and Donald Wells. You two are complicit in the disappearance of Summer Wells. When you clutched that coat, homegirl, you told me everything. Everything. When you were talking, Donald Wells, to the camera about the plantation, you're pointing to everything you, Candy specifically, let me say Candy, excuse me, you describing what happened on June 15th, which tells me also that you're a liar because you see, Lord have mercy. I thank God for the gift of discernment. It has served me so well. I've been naughty at times and not paid attention to the signs of people who had the buffoonery, and I aided them, and I own my part. But watching you through the looking glass has been so interesting and entertaining and sad and pathetic all at the same time. Candy, Candy, Candy. When you point to your own house, you tell me you're guilty. You don't point at your own house when spinning the story of what happened on June 15th. You see, what you say is, I went in my house. I stood over here. I closed the door. I walked up the step. That's how you talk when somebody says, what happened? I don't got to point at my house. I'm already at my house. Come on, Queen. You only point when you're in public. Woo! School them, Queen. They ain't ready. I'm the realest on this wire, baby. When you describe what happened at the scene of a crime, you only point when it doesn't belong to you. He ran over there. He put this down there. He fell on the ground. He went over there. You point. And when you're children, you point. And you're taught by your elders, never point. It's rude to point. That's just a little side humor for you all. Candy, you're lying. Pointing to the trailer. Oh, and then Grandma went over there, and I went over there in 2 minutes, and I locked her up, and I did this, and I tied up her knee, and no, you didn't. You orchestrated all this before the 6:30 phone call to law enforcement. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, you and Donald Wells. You see, when you told that story once again, I knew you were lying because people never point to their own homes when spinning a story of what happened. You have no reason to. Because you see, you're already at your home. So I don't have to point to say, I walked over here. I put on the knee brace. I walked over here. You pointed to every place, and only strangers point when they're talking about a place that doesn't belong to them. You see, this is what happens when you're not ready to spin a lie officially. You weren't ready, you and Donald Wells. But he's been the orchestrator of spinning the webs and this narrative of an abduction. But we know better. Oh, mercy. When they mentioned the rabbit hole, I thought I was going to die. Playing the audio from the Chris Madonna show. The rabbit hole. What in the hell possessed you all to put a child's bedroom down that steep hole? If you cannot comfortably walk down a flight of stairs, then that means you have no business going down the stairs. You people are amazing to me. You put a child's room down there. Listening to you tell Chris Madonna that you know he could walk down those stairs because my husband's a big guy. He can walk down there. Are you kidding me? I thought I was going to die when I watched that clip play. I believe Dr. Phil said that. He knows no perpetrator went down the rabbit hole. Indeed. When we talk about the door opening and closing downstairs, Dr. Phil says he does not believe you could have heard the door open downstairs with the children playing, TV loud upstairs. No way. No way. You heard that door close from upstairs. He mentions that you're not hypervigilant. You're not a hypervigilant mom. You don't strike him as a hypervigilant mom, running around looking for your kid, walking your kid over here, walking your kid over there. Because one, the compound is small from where the trailer sits to the home front door. So there's no need to be watching anyone walk from the trailer to the front door with the scalpel for stairs. Come on, Queen, bring it to him. Mom, I want to go outside and play. Okay, bye. Did it kind of go like that? Because you didn't walk Summer nowhere. Because I believe you leave your children alone. And your boys were left alone that day. So I know you didn't walk Summer from nowhere to nowhere. How about that? Your children are all over the place and they do what they want. And that is the reason why one is missing and three are in the state's custody. Because you and Donald Wells have been doing what you want up there on the mount. And you've been letting your children do whatever they want. I believe you've been leaving your children alone. Your children have been latchkey kids. And the sick part is your ass don't work nowhere. So tell me why your children be left alone in the first place. Very sad to me. Dr. Phil is saying basically, not saying that they're involved, but something doesn't add up with this story. Something doesn't add up with the story at all. I'm going to start on episode 2. Dr. Phil lets it be known, day 2, that he does not think Candy and Donald harmed their child. Dr. Phil, who told you that? Help the queen out. I'm confused. Who told you that they didn't do something to Summer Wells? And I think it's interesting during his first interview to Donald, lets it be known that day 2, his stepsister called a TBI with SA allegations. I left that out. I'm sorry about that. It's information I meant to bring to you. Very interesting. Why would they mention that? Is it relevant to this case? Was Summer Wells abducted? Was Summer Wells molested by her father or any other relatives in the said house? Was she molested by other people coming to the house? Who all had access to the house? Who was at the house while Candy Kane was running around with Boyd H. Summer and Grandis? Who were with the children while Donald was at work? Who else had access to the house? Was somebody else staying at the house, sleeping in the house, on the property, in a shed, in a tent, in a camper? Stay woke. What are we talking about? What happened to Summer Wells? Are we talking about an abduction? I don't believe so, because Dr. Phil let that be known in episode 2. Ain't no way. Somebody came up in the timeline. But see, this is what's crazy when he says that. I don't think you all did this. He said this in the beginning of the installment. I don't think you harmed your child. I don't think you had the time. Dr. Phil, you know better than that. There's no such thing as have the time, because you don't know Candy and Donald Wells. And you don't know when she actually went missing. You have to have some type of audio to show who saw her last on what day and time to say when she actually went missing. They lived in the back of nowhere. So there's no way you can say how much time is needed to get rid of somebody, because we border the state of Virginia and North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee. So you can't tell me a person can't get dropped off somewhere else. They knew not to put her in the backyard because the dogs would come and pick up her scent. Stay woke. You don't know anything about this region. And even though you know about Tennessee, Dr. Phil, but you know damn well many people are missing, and somebody got them missing in a hurry. Because the point is, if nobody knew that they were going to go missing, then I got time to get you undiscovered. Very strange you said that to them. But you let her know, hey, we're trying to help you find your kid. So all we're trying to do is help you find your kid, Candy. You think they know something about the disappearance of Summer. You do not think they harmed Summer, but that they know something. Well, then what is that exactly? What is it that they know about the disappearance of Summer? So what are you saying? They didn't kill her, they didn't hurt her. That's what you said in the beginning, which I think you should have said that. But that's your interpretation, your perception of these two buffoons. So then what happened? What happened? They sold her, they bartered her, what? They loaned her out, something jumped off, they called her, go back to pick her up, the people didn't have her, somebody hurt her, harmed her, beat her, choked her, suffocated her. What are you saying? What are you saying? You left that open. You told Candy, I believe you know who got your child. But I don't think you did something to your child. Well, hell, that's just as worse. Because like you told her, I can't make you say who got her. I can't make you say anything. But I do believe you know who got her. Well, that's just as bad as saying I know you killed her. Because I'm still saying you complicit in getting her gone. You also let it be known you think it's somebody that they know, they cool with, who's been on the property, got access to the property. So who is that then? How many people have had access to that house to come up there and take the child? But see what you did, Dr. Phil, you left out one little part of the story. How did the perpetrator come on the property while they were there and get Summer out of the basement and or outside the property without anybody noticing or hearing a thing? See, you left the door open. You saying she and he know who did it, somebody close to them, but the part where you messed up is that the boys were left there alone all day. Why didn't the perpetrator come up there when the children were there along with the boys? So then that means you saying they went there directly to get Summer. But you forgot something, Dr. Phil. Summer Wells looked like a boy. Ding! Checkmate. Stay woke. So if I'm dressing her like a boy, she ain't always dressing like a girl. I'm looking through the looking glass. I ain't looking at a girl, and I don't want a girl. I want a boy. So perhaps our perpetrator wanted a boy, and she was the prettier boy. Is that what you're saying? Stay woke. Stay woke. Someone close took the children. This cornbread mafia theory, it's a bust. You're asking Candy a question about the cornbread mafia and other things, and Donna's speaking for her, and you cut him off, Dr. Phil. What you should have done, you let him know, hey, I want her to speak. And then Donna, he heard up, straightened up. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, but you didn't talk like that to that YouTuber the other night when you cussed her out and called her a bitch. Yeah, I'm going to say it on my live. Donald, you something else. You know who to cuss out and who to call a nasty name. You's a dirty white boy. You's a dirty white boy. Oh, you's a dirty white boy. Oh, yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. But then you'll be calling Dr. Phil an MF here shortly, won't you? Because you will turn on people. You turns on people quick. That lets me know that you're tainted inside. Your spirit is tainted because you anger easily and you flip out. And that's usually when people have been hurt and harmed and betrayed. We get angry quick when we've been betrayed, especially as children. Everybody knows that. You grow up, you're mad at the world. You're bitter. You complain a lot. Everything makes you sick, make you ill. Probably kind of like your wife and your children. They got on your damn nerve too. Did they not? That's why you drink. You drink to hide the pain. You get high to hide the pain. She drinks to hide the pain. She pops pills or some type of narcotic to hide the pain. And that leads us to believe you two should never be in the company of children because you two are tainted and wounded. And a wounded animal has no business trying to aid another animal. Period. Dr. Phil says perhaps somebody was obsessed with the child, one of your company members. So which is it? Somebody came around that's cool with them, became obsessed with Summer, knew when to show back up when the mother returned, made their entry, took the child, which makes no fucking sense. Because as I said, you'd have to take her while they're there. How are you going to take my child without me knowing you're there? You still make noise coming up a gravel road in a car. And if I'm outside with my mother, then I'm going to see you coming. So how would you get to the basement door to get my kid? If I'm outside, I still could have a view of the car. At some point, coming up the drive is making noise if I'm outside, even if I can't see the side door. Stay woke. Did one of these parents harm the child? Was there an accident? And once again, Dr. Phil, I like you, but you've rubbed me the wrong way about this case. Saying, you know they didn't harm the children. How in the world would you know that? It's also brought up why the children were removed. He said it was dangerous. You downplayed that comment, Donald Wells. You try to make it seem like it's outsiders is the cause of your house being dangerous and the state removed the kids because of outsiders. You know that's bullshit. Your house is dangerous because of the way it's made inside. You also was asked about the children returning. You said you got some more work to do. Got to put up some walls. So you mean to tell me all this time you've been living in this house with all these damn kids and a wife, and you didn't think you all needed walls to separate the rooms? You thought that was okay to raise a girl child in an open space? She's got to use the bathroom. She's got to take a shower. Boys got to take a shower, put on their undergarments. The front door is facing the boys' room / kitchen. Come on. You inviting people to want to look at your kids. Stay woke. Boys putting on their undergarments. Boom, Boom, the door flies open. Here's a grown man that likes boys and men looking at your boys' pee-pees. See, game recognized game. You invited Satan in your house any damn way because you didn't have your house in check. Rooms properly aligned with doors and doorknobs. Everybody needs privacy. Period. Yes, it was mentioned that they passed the lie detector test. I was waiting for him to say he had verification, but I'm not going to argue if they passed them or not. I'm not even going to go there. You made mention about somebody coming on the property. You shot over their head. Once again, goes back to me saying, why don't you have proper security on your property since your child's been abducted, allegedly? You said somebody sent a YouTuber, or a YouTuber sent some woman or somebody there on the property. Where'd you get that information from? Once again, why no security? Something's off with this story. Then they ask you something about, can we read my own writing? I can't even read it. As I said, I don't believe somebody came there while she was there on the property. It doesn't add up. Do you know somebody that has your child? You all are telling them no, you don't know anybody that would have your child. Anyone have a reason to want your child? Did you fall out with somebody? No, we ain't fell out with nobody. Is it a family member? No, it ain't a family member. Something's off with this story. And Dr. Phil knows there's something off, but I don't think he should have said in the beginning of this interview that he believes that they didn't harm their child because of the timeline. We don't really know what the timeline is, and the FBI has let that be known that they don't have anything for a lead. So that means you don't have a timeline. So you can't say they didn't have time to bury their child, discard their child, if they deliberately killed their child, because we don't even have an exact timeline. Candy told that in the beginning of this story. I don't keep up with time. So then how can you say she or he did not kill the child? Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. I will now drop the link. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Those who hung in there, unsubscribe, makes no difference to me. God is good. Thank you so much. Please be respectful to the hostess, the mods in the chat. If you're new, you're welcome to hit the link and join us. Thank you all so much. Very strange and bizarre. Very bizarre storyline. I don't know if the truth will ever be revealed, but somebody said in somebody's chat, I believe it was yesterday, I was on somebody's channel or reading something, and somebody said, I want to know, did the boys see Summer Wells come into the house? Very, very true. That's what I'd like to know as well. Did the boys ever see Summer Wells enter the house on June 15th? That will be something worth knowing. Thank you all so much for joining me. I got so much going on. People talking. I hate these phones that talk. Sorry about that. I will drop the link if you all want to come up and give your commentary. Thank you all so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And such kind words you all have given the queen. That was a mouthful. 1 hour worth of talking. Jeepers creepers. What is going on? Hit the link. Give me your opinion pertaining to this bizarre interview with the panel and Dr. Phil. Day 2. Hollerville's finest talking to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil saying in his first interview with these people that he don't believe they harmed their child without knowing these people. How can you make that assertion? And what is the truth to June 15th? Monday will mark 5 months to the date that Summer Wells was reported missing from Rogersville, Tennessee. Where is this child? Will we get information to her whereabouts? Is there evidentiary material via phone, social media, devices that will lead us to the truth to where she can be located. Any type of conversations between the parents and outsiders to any type of bartering, discarding of the child, deliberate killing of a child, accident of a child. Where is Summer Wells? Hit the link. Thank you for joining me. Yes, lock them up. Oh my Lord. It's like you turn this thing off, it don't stop. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Reese, so much, baby. Thank you, Brandy. Well, as I've said before the past week, if you want to get to the truth of where Summer Wells can be located, found, either alive or deceased, separate Donald Wells and Candy Wells. The truth will then come out about where the child is. I brought you information pertaining to a case out of Alabama, Birmingham. 2 culprits took the child, kidnapped her, drugged her, and raped her, and discarded her in a dumpster next door to an adjacent apartment complex that was vacant and under construction. When the suspect male was arrested, bonded out, the female was also arrested. She stayed in jail while he was released on a bond. She told where the baby was, and the baby was later found in a landfill a week later. Separate the two. You will find Summer Wells. Amen. Thank you. See, there's a way of doing things. Thank you all so much. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. I got 166 viewing. Thank you so much for the support. God bless all of you. Mods, please drop the link. Thank you. Wondered if the hotel was bugged. Felt like Dr. Phil gave him a break. Okay. Joe Dirt thinks they gave him a break. Aaron, the link. Here, let me try it again, honey. It would start acting up. One second, sweetie. All right, try that again. Why haven't though it make no sense? Hi, Sean. How are you, honey? Thank you. Just got here trying to catch up. Did Dr. Phil try to play nice to get them to trust him? Well, amazing. Everything's about interpretation. Did Joe think he played nice? I don't know. Everybody's interpretation is different. I just don't agree with him saying that they didn't have anything to do with it because of the timeline. We don't know what the timeline is. We don't really know what time anybody got home from the swimming hole, who all was at the swimming hole, where they went after the swimming hole. See, that's never been verified to the public. Exactly where Candy went on her way out of Rogersville to Boy H's house, mom to the doctor, all these different stores, swimming hole, pharmacy. Nobody's giving exact time. So who can say who had enough time to dump a kid? You can't say that because you don't even know what the timeline is. You just know when somebody called and said, hey, my baby's missing. Well, that's from morning till 6:30. That's a mighty long time. That's enough time to orchestrate a kidnapping, a selling of a kid, bartering of a kid, loaning of a kid, accident, cover up an accident, or deliberate murder. People have hidden bodies in shorter times than 8 or 9 hours. Come on now. Hit the link. I don't know why. I don't understand. Shouldn't be no error. Hold on. Oh, I see where it's left out. Sorry about that, honey. There's a letter left out. Hold on. Hold on one second, you guys. Queen be rushing, honey. Trying to do so much. Sorry about that. I'm on a time crunch right now. It's a lot of information to get out. There's a V after that, sweetie. Sorry about that. Exactly. TBI can't work out the timeline. That's the whole point of this story. Ronnie Lawson has dispelled 3 lies told by Mr. Wells as far as drug trafficking back there in the holler in Beach Creek. The scream has been unfounded by this lady. Something else I mentioned. They've all been unfounded. Even that Toyota truck business. I was told it's nothing to that. Don't you think by now somebody would have come forward about the truck situation? Because these are all conversations coming out of the mouth of Donald Wells. And TBI has told you time and time again from the beginning, they have nothing to start to bring to you of where they think the child could be. No leads to how she got out of there, how the perpetrator came in to get her. And these people being so adamant that their child was abducted, that sounds like somebody who got her out of there deliberately to me. That's my perception. Yes, Reese, I believe that. Yes. Hit the link. If you want to give your opinion pertaining to Dr. Phil speaking with Donald and Candy Wells, information I brought you in the beginning of this video. You can find the post on my community post. They are news clippings from WJHL about the timeline of the disappearance of Summer Wells. Monday will mark 5 months since the child was reported missing and an Amber Alert released to the public. I now have Miss Broomer to give her a personal commentation. Oh, it's on now, baby.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, that was a letter off. V was off. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You're looking like a little schoolgirl today. Bring it to I'm getting ready to
oh my God.
Coffee in and a quick snack. Go ahead, baby.
Hold on, let me turn this around so it can look like I'm on something here. Okay.
Yes.
Goodness. I can't wait. I just
yes. They brought yes, I will admit to somebody in the chat saying Ronnie Lawson and misinformation. Well, yes, Donald and Candy's been spinning the story from day one, but also people have also been gossiping and making up stuff and passing it on social media and the YouTube spectrum, and you all run with that stuff. Every time you hear something, you go run and you pass it without even knowing if it's true or not. So then somebody calls TBI with that same he said, she said. So you keep forgetting somebody's sitting there taking that information in on a phone line, writing all that stuff down. Now they're sending somebody out there to go check out what you said you heard or what you heard somebody say in Idaho, New York. My teacher told me that, you understand what I'm saying? And you don't even know what you're talking about. And you're wasting these people's time. And I tell people that stop calling the police line, all these truth finders, all this stuff. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't call these people because these people are not getting paid to sit there and answer the phone for stuff that you heard. Gossip. You're help hindering the investigation by repeating gossip and calling TBI and calling the police. And Ronnie said that. You all are calling saying, yeah, I heard this such and such. Come on now.
I'm on here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
They should have been locked up when they left, that show was over.
Because
I think, like you said, they showed their true colors. Everything was obvious. It was. Okay. I've never seen anything so obvious in my life. Okay. You know, Donald showed himself as the mouthpiece of everything.
Yes.
And
hello, Audrey.
You know, he's been schooling her Don't you say anything. Let me put my hand around your.
Yeah. He doesn't want her to talk because he knows she'll mess it up. Yeah, he knows that. Yeah.
You know, put her arm around her, might pull her hair a little bit or whatever. Yeah. And she's sitting there looking like, you know. And then it's like she knows that she's so guilty that when they say certain things, all of a sudden she wants to grab her shirt looking like, oh my God, I want to get her. Come on. You knew they was going to ask you questions when you came on the show.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand why she even went and she starts playing crazy.
Right. If you didn't want to answer any questions, you should have turned it down. You should have went. You should have just let Don go up there by himself so he can tell the story that he has no knowledge of. I just think it's awful. And Dr. Phil, everybody got to understand, he's nothing but a YouTuber on TV. He ain't nothing there but for views, and that's how he stays on TV. He got to show something. And I don't know how in the world he came up with that conclusion. I don't think they was involved. But what? I don't think they harmed her. But what? I don't know. I just think they both make me sick. And I told you from the beginning, put them on First 48. They separate them right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I agree.
I can't hear.
Hold on. I was in the kitchen. I'm sorry. Do you agree with Dr. Phil said in the beginning of the interview on day 2? He does not believe that Candy and Donald harmed the child.
No, I don't believe that. Because just like you said, just by knowing.
Do you believe that Dr. Phil believes it? Although he said it.
How can he come up with that conclusion when in part 1 they basically interviewed them and told you all about where they were deceptive. They're deceptive. They're hiding stuff. They're not talking. They're not saying. So that's harm to your child, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Audrey, what do you have to say about Dr. Phil saying that at the beginning of the interview, day 2? Audrey?
I think it was a travesty of justice.
Okay, where you calling from?
A travesty of justice.
Audrey, where you calling me from, baby?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Come on, bring it to me.
I've been on here before.
Okay, well, bring it to us, baby.
What I want to know is why did he state, Dr. Phil, that they'd passed a polygraph test? Is that a fact, or is that something they told him?
Wait a minute. Say it again, baby.
Did they really pass a polygraph, or is that what they told Dr. Phil?
Yeah, because he didn't. Because Dr. Phil didn't say, I have verified with law officials that they were conclusive. He didn't say that. He just said they passed. So I'd like to know that too. That's a very good question.
Because that just tainted a whole jury pool. Because he stated it as a fact. Not that it can be used in a court of law, but it can be used in the court of public opinion.
Right.
I agree. Totally agree. What do you think about that, Ms.
So I think that was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
He didn't say that was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even get into the stuff about Don and his sisters. That didn't even come into play.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Ladies, do you believe that both passed the polygraph test?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
that should be a poll I take in the chat.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
If she answered the questions like she talked, it would have been all over the place. Because who would know what she was talking about? Did you harm a child? Come on. Now, I think it's a bunch of bull. I think he misspoke and he shouldn't have.
You think he misspoke?
And why? Mm-hmm. Why was it stated as fact?
Right.
What I want to know.
Say what, baby? What you want to know?
So everybody that watched Dr. Phil feels like they're innocent. Everybody that doesn't know the backstory.
Okay.
And that's wrong.
Well, do you all believe the kidnapping story?
What?
Do we believe the kidnapping story?
Do you believe that she was kidnapped?
I don't know.
Okay, Dr. Phil says, I don't believe you two harmed her, but I do believe, Candy, you know what happened to her. You know who got her. How do you feel about him saying that? Do you agree with that?
I believe him on that. I mean, I don't
What about
believe.
Audrey?
I kind of do believe him on that part.
Well, wait a minute, let me hear Audrey's opinion. Audrey, do you believe that Candy knows who has her child?
If it was an abduction.
Audrey?
But I don't see, like you said, the timeline. It just doesn't. How in the world can you go?
Well, hold on a minute. Let Audrey answer. Audrey, do you believe that Candace knows who has her child?
Yes, I do, 100%.
So what
and
are you saying?
I think Donna knows too.
Saw the child. Okay, I'm going to ask each one. Audrey, where is Summer and what do you think happened to Summer?
It was either an accident or they sold her.
Okay.
Or traded her for drug debt. Candace.
Okay. Miss Broomer?
Candace. And I think Don knows.
I think it was one of the two.
Okay.
But you know what? Yeah. The accident part, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you believe happened. The stories are so ridiculous. We don't know who to believe. I mean, Grandis said there was something in the orange bottle in the back, and she drank some of that. What? I mean, what are we supposed to believe? H said she was in the murky water and was down in the muddy water for a certain amount of time, and he had to go down there and act like Superman and pull her out. Who are we? I mean, it's so many stories. It's too many stories to even know which way to go. It's almost like a maze in a cornfield. You go one way, then
let
you
me
go dead end.
Let me ask you this.
You gotta remember about a story. You only know what somebody tells you.
Right.
I'm sorry, Audrey. You only know what somebody's told you. Remember that. Go ahead, Audrey.
Well, let me ask you, was Dr. Phil saying that he didn't believe they murdered the child, or was he saying he didn't know that there was an accident? I mean, the way he stated it, it was like they had nothing to do with it, no knowledge of it, except for Candace.
That's what he said, Audrey.
So what exactly, the way he worded that,
but that's what he said.
It would leave the normal person confused.
Well, that's what he
I mean, it would lead them to believe they had nothing to do with it whatsoever. And we all know that's just not true.
But that's what he said in the beginning. He said, I know you two didn't do it because of the timeline. You didn't have time. But you can't say that because this woman allegedly left her house at the morning time. So from morning time to 6:30, you do have ample enough time to deliberately dispose and get rid of a child. That's a lie.
Right. Right.
But he's not even leaving into consideration the fact that she could have been alive when they took her either away from the house or whether she never got home. I mean, how much does Dr. Phil actually know about this case? Is what I want to know. To make all these suppositions.
The time. He says the time. The time. He doesn't think they had enough time to get rid of her.
But
what time is he going by?
Then why did he not spell out the timeline and say, I know this X happened here, X happened there, and there's no way. Why didn't he even get into the timeline to spell it out for people?
Very good point. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Exactly.
And Grandis didn't even come up in the conversation enough to.
And that's why I said, I wish he said something more about the polygraph because you didn't say, hey, I verified with law enforcement that you passed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, but he just stated as a fact.
Yep.
Yes,
You both
yes,
passed the polygraph test.
yes, he
Mm-hmm.
You
did.
both didn't have time. He did not even. Is crazy to
Yes,
me.
yes. All of that whole situation, and her crying at the
Ugh.
cornbread mafia
Ugh.
comment, and then Don explains, well, she just don't want to be interrogated, and
Oh.
he asked
No,
her why you cry, and she says, oh, it's just the thought of the mafia. It just sounds so terrible.
Oh. You know what?
Well, if you
that
don't
was
even know
bull
what the
crap.
mafia is, if you don't know what the mafia is, why does it sound so terrible? It's because we know that we assume the mafia, they're bad people, which we have heard that with mafia in general. So you're crying because the
Well,
thought of the mafia having your baby.
if you paid any attention to Candace, she was getting ready to bolt. It was just building up, and that was just
Mm-hmm.
when she bolted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the next installment of BS. How about that?
Yeah.
When's the next installment going to be?
I've talked to YouTuber number 17.
No,
I called
Dr.
YouTuber
Phil,
number 17, and they
I
said,
do. Do you think Dr. Phil's going to have them back on? I don't. Do you?
no, no,
No, I don't.
no, no.
I think he's done.
Yeah, he got enough views.
You
He
have
got
to
some
admit,
views.
that's a very quick interview.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
it
was
was.
very,
It was
was it not?
too quick.
Yeah.
That was very quick.
Too quick
That
for
was a
something like
hot
this.
egg. That was a burnt egg and throw it in the garbage.
That was a lot of commercials.
And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't serve a purpose.
It didn't serve a purpose. Thank you, Denise. That's why I said that in the beginning to the chat and on the community page. What are you getting ready to tell Dr. Phil that you have not told 20,000 YouTubers, WJHL, TikTok, Pookieville? Come on.
Right.
Well, nothing was verified. Nothing was verified.
Very good point. Very good point. Nothing was verified. Exactly.
Not
What
one
was verified
thing.
is you got two buffoons up there, and I think, like I said, I think Candace
You know what would have
is.
been good? Do you know what would have been good?
Hmm.
A ride along. Candy, show us what you did from the moment you left Holler for you.
And then time it.
Amen. Amen.
From the,
Show us the drive
show
from
us,
Huntsville to H to the swimming hole to the hospital to this store, that store, the grocery store. See where I'm going? And then try to time it down.
Mm-hmm.
show us proof.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because if
Show
you don't
us
know, H
the.
might have something to do with it too.
Say
I
what,
know.
Denise?
I'm
I
wondering
said
the
H might
same.
have something to do with it too.
Hmm.
I mean, that would be a sorry
And
mother.
I did.
Well, it is a sorry mother. What am I talking about? But to have your child jumping and playing around in murky, muddy horse.
But that's why Dr. Phil said she's not super vigilant. No super vigilant mother will let their children play in that nasty water.
Right. And you know what the bad thing about it? She could, I mean, technically, she could have went under. She could have had ingested something. Heaven knows what's in it. She could have ingested something that caused her to die. I mean, she could have. But my thing is, tell it. She was playing in the
Well,
murky water. We wasn't paying any attention to her. She went under. By the time we looked up, she wasn't showing. H and his big self ran into the water, got her out, and she was gone.
And that's about what happened.
If
well,
that is
Candace
what
said there
happened.
was no rock. And that's actually not true. There was someone on Twitter that went out there and actually went in there where Summer went swimming. And there were slippery rocks out there.
See, but that's what I'm
That was
saying.
on
Heaven knows what
Twitter.
was in it.
They did a video on Twitter. So there were actually slippery rocks out there. So that was actually not true. What she
Oh, you
said.
mean underneath? You mean underneath the dirt?
Water.
The dirt
Mm-hmm.
in the water.
So, right. So she could have slipped and fell. And I mean, I'm
There
just
was a
saying
lot of
that's
stuff
what
in that
happened.
water. We don't know what's in that water.
Right.
Tree branches ran
I'm
out.
not saying she did, but I'm just saying it is possible because there are slippery rocks out there.
Well,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Branches and everything in there. So you don't know what was in there. A bottle could have been thrown in there from some jackpot through a water bottle. You understand what I'm saying? A
Yeah,
Coke
that's what I'm
bottle.
saying.
That place is nasty.
Right.
Place is nasty.
And you just said, okay, honey, go ahead, have fun.
They took everything that Donald Wells said as the gospel.
Yeah, and that's why I said that's what Mr. Lawson was trying to relate to the
I mean,
public. So much misinformation has come out of this case. It's hindered them because people are calling in with this information as if it's the spoken word. That takes up their time.
Mm-hmm.
But
he
how
was, I'm gonna
can
tell you,
Dr.
he was happy with it.
How
He
can
was happy
Dr.
because he
Phil
think
get
he
up
got over
there?
on him.
How can Dr. Phil get up there and he's supposed to know the facts of a case and get up there and accept everything that Don Wells said is fact? That I don't understand. Somebody did not do their homework. I don't I don't know what happened, but I do believe they both know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I'm telling you, they just need to put her in a. That's why I was hoping, and I hate to say this, but no, I don't hate to say this. I was hoping that he would go to jail when he got stopped, that pulled over.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he had went,
He should still be in jail.
Yeah.
Donald Wells should still be in jail.
If he had been in jail, we would know where Summer is.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, separate these two, you will find that baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As long as she knows he ain't coming out no time soon to come back and hit her in the throat again.
Hey, let me tell you something. Lock her up first, and he falls off and stop calling. Don't bring no commissary. Don't answer the phone. See how quick she talks.
Mm-hmm. Because he's ready to throw her under the bus. I don't know if she knows or not.
Okay. But if Don does not know anything, I mean, if we're to believe that Don knows nothing about what happened to Summer, why would he still be sticking up for Candace the way he is as a father?
Right.
If he's totally ignorant and she's pulling something over his eyes, he has to know it. He has to know.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't he let her talk?
Because
I
she
mean,
may say something.
He's selling a narrative that only Candace and her mother know.
Well,
How
perhaps
could he be so sure of that narrative when he was not home, supposedly?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, Audrey. Perhaps he does know something. That's why he's the mouthpiece. He does not want her talking.
Yeah, honestly, if he was a father, was not home, why would he sell that narrative and not even really want her to talk? That part just baffles me. It baffles me.
Cedar, where you calling from? Cedar?
Hello.
Cedar, where you calling me from?
I'm gonna go back down and chat.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Brummer.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, where you calling me from, dear?
Oh, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Okay. One thing that I spoke when we keep speaking of, if we take Candace away from and get her in a room by herself, she may speak and talk and tell everything. But think about the fact that if her mother was involved in it too, do you think she really would give her mom away?
She hasn't had a mother. Think about what you're saying, sweetheart.
I don't think she loves her mom that much.
You don't think so? Okay.
No. Ask yourself this. Listen to this. I want everybody to listen to what I'm getting ready to say. Candy went to work for a carnival at a young age. I don't think I need to finish the sentence too. Now, do I?
Well, her mom left when she was young. She was raised by her dad.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, as a young woman, why would a young woman go out and work for a carnival? That's a sign to me you didn't have any family. You didn't have a family unit. You could have went to college, trade school, beauty school, worked at Walmart, Chick-fil-A. You get where I'm going?
Yeah, that makes
You're
sense.
talking about a traveling entity with strangers. A recipe for disaster for a young mind. Period. Period. Well, I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But that's the only point I wanted to make.
Well, let me ask you something. You're not gonna give us your opinion on the show? What happened?
I just think the show was just like regurgitating what we already know. and we didn't find out anything. There was
Okay, let me ask
nothing.
you this: do you believe
Okay.
Dr. Phil believes that they didn't harm their child?
Actually, I don't.
He
I
said
think
he
he knows
did.
more than he
Wait a minute.
says that he knows, and even the
Oh
the
no, I'm
baby.
asking you. What do you believe him?
Do I believe him?
Do you believe he said what? Do you believe he believes what he said?
No, absolutely not.
Why not? Tell me why.
To get them to talk, to make them to feel comfortable, get into a more comfortable situation.
Okay, so you saying he lied?
Pretty much, and we also have to remember this is still an open investigation as well.
Why
So
would
I'm
Dr.
asking,
Phil lie? That would be so stupid of him.
so before you go, Cedar,
I think-
tell me what happened to her. Sorry about
What?
that.
My honest opinion, I honestly think that she was taken away in regards. I can kind of believe the story about the essay, and she was taken away for that reason. If she wasn't taken away for that reason,
I don't
Candace
understand what you're
and
saying.
Don had
Wait.
Go ahead.
Slow down, baby. Elaborate what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying.
That Candace knew that she was being essayed by Don.
So you saying she sold her child or gave her child away because her child was being molested?
To keep her safe from him, yes. And plus the child had to go to school.
Okay.
They were going to find out things anyway with both of the children.
Audrey, what do you think about that comment?
I think she was trading Summer off for drugs.
Okay.
And that was my second
I
part
think
to
she
say
was
that
using
they
her for
had a
her
debt.
own benefit because she couldn't get the money out of Don.
Right.
Drop the link,
If
ladies.
that's what happened. If
Okay.
that's what happened.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Cedar.
But I think Don knows now.
What does he know?
There's no way he can be that ignorant. There's just no way he can be that ignorant.
Audrey, you own one today.
Okay, let me bring this into the equation, Angie, and you may or may not like this, but there was conversation about how the family ties and things of that nature. It's no secret about the trafficking and the enemies of the family and things of that nature.
Okay.
Do you think that could possibly have something to do with it? Because Don and Candace was living on a property that really was not theirs, and those outsider families.
Okay,
really
so you
didn't
saying,
respect them?
that stuff that we've been hearing about the dispute of the land and all that kind of stuff?
Yes. And
Okay,
so
well, let's go
everything-
here. Let's just go here, period.
I'm
This
sorry.
still goes to everything we assume about the abduction.
Correct.
Make it make sense how you got her out of there. No matter what the reasons are for the kidnapping, how did you get her out of there? See, that's the problem. Doesn't matter the motive. We want to know the motive just because we're human. Correct. But explain. This is why Dr. Phil made that comment about them getting in there, going down the rabbit hole. How did you get in there unnoticed and get her out of the house or the property without being noticed?
I
Because
believe
they
Candace
took her out.
and Grandis knew about it, and like the baby went with someone.
So see, that's why it doesn't matter what the reasoning is. You've got to explain logically how you got her out of there for whatever reason.
True. Okay.
They walked
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
How you gonna get her out of there? How did you get her out? Let's think about that. When you look at that rabbit hole shoot, that gives you the best visual for this storyline. That's why I said they damned themselves when they let Chris Madonna go to that house.
Correct.
You want me to logically believe she went down that hole, played, and Bubba Phantom came up a broke drive in what? Tricycle, wagon, car. What did he pull up in or she pull up in without you hearing? Do you know what rocks sound like with the tires on top of rocks?
Well, let me interject there and say why would we be stuck on it was a vehicle that came onto the property?
Well, I'm just thinking getting in and out because of the terrain. That's not something you're going to want to do on foot with the child, sweetheart. You're talking about a child. So that means now you're saying you're going to carry her out of there.
If you from the back door through the dog trail to the whatever that street is that goes outside to the beach creek where the red truck was supposed to be in and picked her up. I kind of believe that synopsis in some type of way. I kind of keep that in the back of my mind, and to see that she knew she went with someone she was familiar with.
Okay, so you saying
they just walked her across the
so they walked her in and walked her out.
Yeah, just walked her in and walked her out. There's no vehicles to be identified.
Okay.
And how it became that they seen the vehicle, Don or Candace, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Seen the red vehicle. I honestly believe someone.
Okay, so let's get Audrey's opinion on that. The perpetrator walked in and out with Summer.
No.
Okay.
Nope, that didn't happen. Not unless it was somebody they knew and they gave her to. There's no
you see,
way.
Dr. Phil says that. Dr. Phil believes somebody they know took her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was somebody they knew. It was somebody Candace knew. It was somebody Candace knew was taking her.
He was what?
It was somebody Candace knew was taking her.
Right.
Candace let them take her.
So that's a difference between I took her and you gave her to me.
Mm-hmm.
She gave her.
Okay.
Go hand in hand. And
okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Was there any type of a blinds or anything at that back door?
I don't think so. I think they said you could see in and not see out on one side. Like outside, I can't see in, but inside, I can see out.
Okay.
That's right. So they didn't go in there to get her.
I think Big Girl or one of them told that.
Okay. Yes, I do recall that.
I don't think she ever went down there anyway. I think she was playing and Candace wasn't paying attention, and whoever was up there partying or whatever they were doing took her.
Mm-hmm.
And Candace knows who took her.
Mm-hmm. So ask yourself this. Listen to this.
What woman? All right.
Okay. Why all of a sudden she returns, been gone all day, that the perpetrator would just so happen to come back and take her child when she's been gone all day and return with the mother and the child? Make that make sense? And the boys have been there alone and naked all day.
And do we know that to be true?
We don't know that to be true.
Well, I'm just saying, if it was.
We know she went home, but we know they didn't call 911 till what, about 7?
I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. None of it makes any sense.
Right, and there's too many elements in the story to try to make some sense of it, and we keep going over and over and over again, but nothing makes sense.
Right.
It's theory after theory after theory.
You know why it doesn't make sense? Because we don't have the correct. We do not.
Because everybody,
we don't.
Big lie. Everybody's covering up.
We don't have the correct.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's why Dr. Phil is saying he knows she knows something, because he's saying you can't. It doesn't sound logical when you look at the shoot, when you look at how the house is made. It's like there's no way. Even if the door is to the side of the house, it's just whether the TVs are playing, the children are hollering. I can hear stuff from across the street. Like, when the UPS people are coming, when the mail truck is coming, because everything has a distinct sound.
Yes.
See? And you're talking about they're the only ones on that land. So you're not going to make me believe so much was going on in that house that afternoon. Nobody heard nothing.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah.
You can tell Candace knows. I mean, it's obvious. Anybody within their right mind knows she knows. Or she'd be up there on the news. I mean, Dr. Phil should say
on this whole entire event.
Yeah. Okay. Listen to what Sunset says in the chat. It's suspicious every time he says play with her toys.
Theory, then we put
that's a good point. She describes everything
being done.
That's why I know this is a lie.
The convoluted stories that were made, things that were said.
Well,
like
somebody in the chat said
to confuse everyone because everybody's involved in some way, shape, form.
Okay, I dropped the link. Hold on.
Even down to law enforcement.
She's too descriptive. You don't talk about the toys like somebody in the chat. Sunset said. You say my baby went and played. When she tells the story about the house, I walked over here to the trailer. I walked over here to the house. That's not how you describe your own place. You just say, I walked over here and I walked over there. The only time you point is when it's not related to you. 1 second.
Let me say this. Did Candace plead for anybody for her
Turn your background
daughter
down,
when she
baby.
was on Dr.
Let me
Phil?
get your background up. So what, baby?
Did Candace plead for her daughter? Did Candace plead for her daughter when she was on Dr. Phil when she had a national stage?
No, she did not. I
Did
didn't
she
hear it.
say, "Please find my please"?
Because
Did
I made
Candace
sure
say,
that these
"Please find my
videos,
daughter"?
I watched that commentary today while I was out, and there was no pleading from her. Only Dr. Phil asking people to contact the TBI or whatever.
That's right, because Candace knows where she is, and she knows
Yes,
who
that's the
took
whole
her, and
point.
she knows
That's the whole
she's
point.
either not. She, she knows she's not coming back, or she knows who has her. One of the two.
Okay.
She never once pled for her daughter, and who wouldn't? What normal mother would not plead for their daughter?
Right. Any of your child, any of your
I
children.
don't. I
Any of your
don't.
children.
I don't.
Any-
I don't care if you are backwards or whatever they want to say. She's not cognitive in her thinking. That would have nothing to do with this.
Well, that's just
All you
something to
care
use as
about
an
is find my child.
There's poor people all over the world. There's people who are a little mentally challenged to different degrees. I tell people stop making excuses. She knows right from wrong. Her and Don both. There's poor people all over the world. So that's just no excuse. None. Because you can be wealthy and mean
No,
to your children.
none excuse.
Children are abused every day
You
by
would
all types
beg for your child. If you thought the cornbread mafia or whatever crap came, you would be begging, please find my daughter. Please find my daughter and bring her home to me.
Exactly.
But she didn't do that. She didn't want to be up there. She didn't want to ask. She never did.
Yeah.
She never cared.
A free trip to LA.
I'll tell you what Candace is
What?
afraid of. Going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
She's not
Exactly.
traumatized. She's not traumatized. She's terrified of going to jail.
I think it's just like what somebody's been saying. A few people have been saying this on social media. They didn't expect this child's disappearance to blow up like it did. We're talking too much. We're questioning too much. We're making videos about these people, their past. They wasn't expecting that. Think about it.
No.
Think about that though.
Do you think they would have brought her back? Well, they know she's not coming back, or they would not have reported her missing.
Let me tell you something. If she's alive and there's a reward, I think the reward will be more feasible than to keep holding on to Summer Wells. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take her back. I'm gonna take her back. Hell, let me get the money.
I mean, I hate to think it, but I honestly don't think she's alive. And if somebody took her, they killed her.
I don't think she's alive either. That's why I said they didn't plan on it growing this big. It makes a lot of sense. That's why everything is so descriptive. Let me make it sound good. The toys, the trailer. That's not how normal people talk when they tell a story. You don't have to describe every little thing when you tell a story.
That's exactly right.
Every blue moon, some people do that. Sometimes we do that.
Too much information. Too much random information.
Random, yes. She went downstairs to play with her toys. Like we said, she doesn't even have any damn toys. What are you talking about? What toys was she playing?
I know. And was Candace traumatized when she took Chris Madonna through that house where her daughter was? How traumatized did she look then? Not at all.
Right.
Zero.
Justice for all, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, where you calling from, baby?
Okay, I'm in West Virginia.
Hi, West Virginia.
Yeah, so just a couple hours probably from you.
Yes,
Yep.
welcome.
Am I echoing?
Huh?
Am I echoing?
No.
Okay. What, honey? Yeah, it's good. Sorry, it's my kid. So I have a question. So when the little one finally first went missing, correct? she's Candace and Dawn had said that she had went, or the boys had went with Dawn
to work. To work. I can't hear you, Justice. Denise, no caps for the HTTPS.
Can I bring up something?
Go ahead, because I think his
Can
audio.
I bring up something real quick?
Yes, baby, go ahead.
Can I bring up something really quick?
Yeah. You're the only one up here.
Can I bring up something?
Go ahead.
Okay, on Facebook, Candace posted a picture of her son
Okay.
in a new outfit that afternoon, and then she took it down. How does that fit into the timeline? It doesn't. We've not heard anything else about it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So sorry.
How you doing?
Good. So this is my first time ever doing a live, so
that's okay.
So when Candace she had said that the boys had went with Dawn.
Yes.
To work.
Yes.
So the boys did not go with her to the swimming hole?
No. Allegedly. We're gonna say
allegedly. Okay. So if Candace and Grandma and Summer went back to the house, how could the boys be in the living room?
You left them alone.
No, she said the boys was with Dawn at work. Dawn didn't show up yet.
There's somebody else that gave the account that the children were left alone. I think that came from Big Girl or H.
Well, I'm just saying, like, yes, that could be true, but
yes.
Why at the beginning with the 911 calls and the initial account they said, that the boys had went with Dawn and that Candace had went for a walk?
I know. Let me tell you something. We've talked 1,000 ways. 1,000 ways. But see, this is what I tell people. When you first start out spinning a web, you forget what you said initially and you have to double back and clear it up. Kind of like this, for instance. Candy's going to say, what I meant to say is, I went on a run, which we know here in the South and probably other places in the United States. A run means I just stepped out for a minute off the property, the compound, which means I either walked somewhere or I got in my car and went for a run. You know what I'm saying? I went for a run means I went to the corner store, market, whatever. So she knew she had to change it back up.
Right.
Had to change it up because this is what I tell people. Why would the dispatcher make that up? You're calling me. I'm not calling you.
Exactly. The dispatcher is just going to say exactly what happened. Exactly. So I mean, it's recorded, and that's why they have not released that 911 call.
Exactly, because they know that once they do, we were going to go hellfire with it.
That's right.
We're going to go hellfire with it.
Yes, we were, because I mean, a 911 call, that's like one of the first things they normally release. This has been 6 months. I mean, why wouldn't you release a 911 call? There has to be something on it.
A 911 call, yeah.
If there's nothing on it, then why wouldn't you not release it?
I don't know.
It just does not.
Well, what do you think of the interview that Dr. Phil did with the behavior panel and the Wells?
Something, I think everybody has handled Dawn and Candace with kid gloves. Plain and simple, kid gloves, because I'm like, throw their asses in a room and shake the shit out of them until they speak. Pardon my French.
Well, let me ask you this. When Dr. Phil says to Candy and Don, I do not believe that you harmed your child. Do you believe Dr. Phil meant that, or he's saying that for effect?
At first I kind of thought, well, hell, he believes it. But then I kind of thought, when you're doing an interrogation, you soften them up. You know, you want to butter them up and butter them down, make them feel comfortable.
And lie.
You know. Well, of course, yeah. I mean, it's not against the law to lie in interrogation
it's not.
room, right? So, and that's how you get stuff out of people.
But
So I thought,
let's think about that. We're all
Mhm.
literal people, right? So we believe what you're saying. So when you say that, you can't take it back.
No, you can't unring a bell. And Dr. Phil says that. You can't unring a bell.
Right. So we all watch that. We're believing Dr. Phil thinks that he believes that. But what's crazy is he then says, "Oh, but I do believe you know who got your kids." That's just his words. Because you're still saying I'm complicit. You're still saying I'm complicit.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, this was it was not researched enough through Dr. Phil, in my opinion. You know, I mean, it wasn't complete. They should have had Grandis. She is a huge part of the story. She was there that day.
And boy ate, but that couldn't work out. All of them on the stage.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, shit, they could have interviewed him or something. You know what I mean? I mean, they should have at least done an interview in Tennessee with him or something, question him. And not to mention Rose missing, you know, Candace's sister. That would have gave it, if not anything, huge drama.
Well, he did mention her briefly. It was kind of almost like a little shade. Kind of like, the sisters.
I don't remember that. Okay. I need to go back and watch that, I guess.
That's like lightning striking in the same spot.
Absolutely, Aubrey. Absolutely. I don't know.
Why did they treat them with kid gloves to keep them on the show? Why do you think they treated Candace with kid gloves?
I want to bring up something that was mentioned to me.
Was it so they could have the rest of the show because they knew she'd bolt?
Yep, that's it.
Well, I want to mention this because you all know that I don't know if Justice knows this or not, but this was mentioned to me in private that she's alive.
I've heard. Yeah. I mean, I've kept up with this story.
They won't go into details, but they got information that girl is not dead, and I can't tell you the rest without revealing it. But I think you should do the math.
Yeah.
Do you believe she's alive, Queen? Do you believe she's alive?
Huh?
Do you believe she's alive?
Well,
from your sources, do you believe she's alive?
The person who brought me the information, you know, is how can I word it? Affiliated to at some degree with these people, and the reason why they can't tell me, well, they did tell me. I can't tell you all. You have to guess. That's the only way I can put it. You have to put together why I would not want you to know that I'm alive.
Well, you know something.
I think you all know.
No, I've heard that.
I don't know. You're going to have to say that again for me.
I'm telling you, Audrey, don't do this. You know very well why. If I'm missing and I don't want you to know, there's only certain reasons why you would never know I'm alive. Think about
it. Only because the cops have her.
Well,
already. Is that a possibility?
I can't tell you. I just said think about it.
Queen, are you talking about the phone calls?
The only thing that makes sense.
Well, all I'm going to say is I'm missing allegedly, and you think I'm missing, but I'm not really missing, and there's only one reason why I would be missing, but I'm actually alive. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just can't say it. I
don't know what you're talking about unless the parents have her or the police have her. It's got to be one of the two.
Well, you know, this is also an interesting theory, if you don't mind.
Go ahead,
you know, they never went to the dentist. Candace never sent them to the dentist.
And why you say that? Why you say that, Justice?
Well, it's been documented through not only CPS or everything. Robin, who goes to the church, she works for a dentist, or she's
I ask everybody this because this is how, as Lawson says, stuff gets misconstrued.
Of course.
So I always ask people to tell me why you think this and this. I do this with everybody. So you take it personal.
No, not at all. I mean, facts matter. Absolutely.
Just by
And
observation of the looks of her teeth, that's
well, I
why
Yeah,
we
mean,
they
know
did
she
look
didn't
bad.
go to the
Her
dentist.
children's teeth, Summer's teeth look horrible, and there's a picture of, I mean, a video of her mowing the grass in that blue wife beater, right? And one of her boys is standing beside her. His teeth were butter yellow, and I said, "Candy, you and your husband need your
oh, of
tail.
course,
You need your tail
absolutely.
whipped."
That's child neglect.
Yes, it is.
It is child neglect. But so
But that
there.
doesn't mean.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
didn't
No,
Audrey.
you go ahead.
Okay. The so there is maybe speculation. It's rumor that CPS made them. They were kind of getting hot on them at the very end when Summer was getting ready to go missing.
Mm-hmm.
That they made Candace take Summer and the other kids to the doctor because they hadn't had a checkup or whatever.
And that's mandatory by most schools, and I know this state is
Oh,
strict.
absolutely, absolutely. I've got twin boys, so
kids
it's
cannot just go to school just because you just walk them in the door and say, "Here they are."
absolutely.
Let me address somebody in the chat that said this.
Mm-hmm.
Their response to why the children were in the state they're in because they didn't have insurance. I think you all know where I'm getting ready to take that.
No, honey, they got a medical card.
You can get insurance through the state in this state, whether you are married or not. And 9 times out of 10, because of the lifestyle they've led, she would not report Don's income. Stay woke.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I guarantee you they had a medical card. Guarantee.
She had a medical card because she had damn food stamps for those kids. You want me to believe
absolutely
you apply for food stamps and get the damn free Medicaid? You didn't claim Donald's income because 9 times out of 10 he gets paid probably with a personal check. Queen woke.
Yep, cash. Yep,
Queen
exactly.
Don't fake the funk with me.
Absolutely. But my theory is, when they took her to the doctor, did if there was SA allegations from Don, right? Did they find out something, or were they going to find out something? And then they knew she was getting ready to go to school, and they did something to her.
Why do you all keep saying that? Why do you all keep saying that? I'm curious why everybody believes he molested his child, and that's the reason why they knocked the baby off. Because that doesn't make any sense that you would knock her off and then you took her to the swimming hole first.
Well, I mean,
this is what I always tell people to do.
No, I don't know if it's got anything to do with a doctor's appointment. I don't know that doctors check kids for that.
Listen.
I mean, I don't think that's
you. Why would I take my child?
I don't think I don't think that's standard operating procedure that they check a child for SA.
That just seems weird to me that I'd knock her off, or was that the setup? Pretend we're taking her swimming and then kill her afterwards.
Well, I have 8-year-old twin boys, so when my kid's pediatrician, I take them to the doctor, they check them from head to toe. But why would they take them to the swimming hole? Why do they do the things that they do anyways? You know what I mean? It could have been, we want a fun-filled day to make seem everything's happy.
Yes. Okay, and I got
you.
I got you, and I
but I really think it's going. At the end of the day, it's going to boil down to probably the
boys didn't go.
Say that again.
Is that the reason the boys did not go? This was orchestrated.
That's a good question. I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Between my theory, but there is
Why would
no
I take
way.
my boys to work if they're not going to be helping me? Wouldn't my children get in the way, goofing off? Think about
Absolutely.
it.
You couldn't pay me to take my kids.
Yes. Right. Right.
So, there's just a lot of speculation, but TBI has not been giving any form of updates, communications, hello, or an FU. You know what I mean? They don't say nothing. And that leads to speculation, because we're all racking our brains trying to find out where this
Let's go
kid
here.
is.
The other day, they released information about all the places that they searched in the water, the ground, the air, all that. They have evidentiary evidence through technical devices and social media accounts. That was mentioned. What do you think about that?
How many pages was it? It was like thousands of pages. Thousands of
I didn't hear how
pages.
many pages it was, but I just know they said they've got.
It was way up there. It was at least, I want to say, 4,000 pages.
Do you think these people foolishly got on these social media accounts to do what they needed to do about that baby?
What do you mean? Like,
you went into apps and talking to people, messaging to make the move to get rid of her.
What do you think, Audrey, on this one? I'll let you speak on this one.
No, I don't think they went through social media. It's too easy.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You have apps, baby, that you can do dirty things. Is what I'm saying.
The dark internet.
Dark web and all that kind of stuff, and talking to people.
Apps can be tracked.
But you got to be able to talk to the people if you're selling her or bartering with her. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't use your phone number, but I use you on Messenger.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. They'd be able to find that out.
Okay,
no,
but if I'm not
I
smart,
I think it's somebody they knew personally.
But I'm not smart. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
No,
do you know anything?
Smart enough. You don't have to watch many YouTube things to know lot of intelligence.
Okay. Go ahead.
It really doesn't.
Justice, what you got to say, baby?
Do you know anything about
Justice?
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Just 5 more minutes, baby. Okay, 1 second. So,
okay. They want to know who you're talking to. You tell I'm talking to some black woman on YouTube.
Yeah. No. So, my kids are half Hawaiian and Pakistani, so it's we have all colors in our family.
Stardust, behave, Stardust.
So, but the neighbor with not Jody Sue, but the one with that was having with the property.
Yeah, I want you to address Jody Sue before you jump all over there. Start with Jody Sue. That I talked to Jody Sue in the beginning of this video. Lord, I don't know what to say about her.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh my God, come on.
But what about the man? The man who had bought that piece of property?
Yes.
JD.
Disappeared.
Jackie Dobbs. Or JD. What's his name? The one from Georgia.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Now, if there was anybody that actually abducted Summer, and he's across the street, he's got trouble with them.
About the land.
Okay. And I'm sure Don hasn't been,
quiet.
Yeah, quiet about it, or to say the least.
Okay.
He's across the street, and for instance, did Candace and Grandma go in, or she was nodding off with Granny's pills or whatever she had?
Okay.
Could the man went up there and grabbed her, and that's when Jody Sue heard a scream?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go by what the sheriff said. Nothing has been founded by that allegation. But I'm going to leave it at that.
Right.
If that happened when you were asleep.
And I played that audio today that he's talked to her several times. You go back to the beginning of this video. Lawson says that. I've talked to her several times. Unfounded.
And I don't mean I'm not talking about Jody Sue. I'm talking about the man who.
Oh, the next door. Okay. Well, see, they're not telling us nothing about that. That's see, this is what I can tell you about this story. Most of the stuff you're hearing about all that outside stuff, that's coming from Don. It's not coming from
exactly.
It's noise.
Dr. Phil, he said, well, he passed the lie detector test.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're not hearing anything from the law about none of these rumors that you've heard about Dobson, the flute player, the this, the that. It's all done.
Yes. It's been crazy, to say the least.
And he supposedly was not there.
Exactly.
If anybody abducted her, to me, it would have to be him.
You had
What's that, Audrey?
Justice. What if your had got gone when you were asleep? Would you not plead for your child? Would you not plead for someone to please find your child?
Let me tell you something. I would move heaven and earth for my kids. That's why I breathe. You know what I mean? I mean, I love my kids more than anything. I mean, if I'm doing a damn interview, with Dr. Phil, I'm not going to shrug my shoulders and give him the mean, look and say, I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't. But this is what I keep telling everybody.
Exactly. I have 4 kids.
Yes.
So I would gladly say, look, I fell asleep. When I woke up, my child was gone. Please help me.
Exactly.
But
I don't think they're being truthful.
All you get from call. No.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if they dropped the kids off. Grandis and Hunter, or not Grandis and I call her Grandis. Candace, dropped the kids off. They left. Something, an accident happened to Summer. They came back. Oh my God, we're going to go to jail for child neglect, and.
But Dr. Phil said that best. These aren't the kind of people he think would just up and call 911. That is a very accurate statement to me, because these people say in trouble. These are not the kind of people that would want to dial 911 in an emergency. You, perhaps, but not them.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of, and see, Dr. Phil talked about the timeline. He's like, the timeline doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Well, there's about 2 or 3 hours there that's very grainy.
Yes. And you don't have it all. And we don't have a timeline. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You don't have
say what this time.
I did this at this time. I went over here at 10:45. I sat here for an hour. Then I went over here at this store. That should have took about 10 minutes. Then we ran over here. That's another 15 minutes. That's never been said.
Exactly. So it's there is literally
and Dr. Phil obviously.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Say what, Audrey?
Dr. Phil, do you think that Dr. Phil knows the timeline, the accurate timeline?
Well, I think if he doesn't, then shame on him. Can you hear me?
I think it's shame on him at this point.
I really do. I think it's shame on him.
State something is fact.
Well, and he's like, you passed. Exactly. He said, well, you passed the lie detector test. Well, hell, that's news to me. Nobody has confirmed or denied that other than Don and Candace.
Right, exactly.
Unless he talked to TBI and TBI gave him the answers. But I don't see TBI giving even Dr. Phil the answers. Unless he slipped up and they told him and he slipped up.
Lord, we said that about the run, that a run means just that. But still, I know the difference between a run and a walk. If you're calling me, and like he said, the calls are recorded. So I can't make up something that's already been recorded on the line.
Precisely. Yeah.
But yes, a run means just what it means. I went for a run to the store, to the this. We already know she didn't run anywhere. So the other stipulation was, or not stipulation, it was said that she walked. That was originally mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That was
which I don't really see Candace going. I don't see Candace actually going for a walk. I think, maybe in the heat of things, she may have said, hey, I'm going, I went for a walk to just try to cover her tracks out of, fear.
Because I'm not thinking of my master plan all the way through. People do it all the time. They change their versions because you know you're going to be talked to 1,001 times.
Yes.
You're talking about a missing child. They're not going to just talk to you one time. Okay, come
Right.
on in, tell us what happened. And then that's the end of it. You don't say nothing else to law enforcement.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, if you plan this child's disappearance,
Candace
you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up.
Mhm.
You're going to mess up.
Candace
right.
has never said, I went for a walk. She's never stated that publicly that she
No,
went
but see,
for a
what
walk.
we're saying, baby, is that was
Summer was
released
gone.
from the call. That was
Yeah.
released on that call.
Yes. It was released on the
It was released on the call.
From
part of the
Dawn,
911 call.
from Dawn,
No, the actual
No.
call. We have the
No.
actual call. You have to go back to my video.
Candace,
I've played the actual
Candace even called 911. We heard it.
Huh? I can't hear what you're saying, sweetie.
Audrey.
Oh, she done fell off.
Hey there, Audrey.
She's got her mic muted.
Okay. So, but you know,
Call
they
that
only.
we hear, did that come from Candace or did that come from Dawn?
Audrey, sweetheart, you're not listening to us. It is
Yes.
on the actual phone call, baby. Nothing to do with them. This is from a repeat of what the dispatcher said Candy said to her.
Yes.
Did she
You know,
say
when the
it came from
dispatcher.
Candace?
Oh my Lord. Audrey, don't
Yes.
do it.
Well, okay. You know when you call 911, the dispatcher talks to they signal over to like the police or whatever. They write it down. They write the incident.
They don't have to do nothing because they record anything a person says to you. That's what
Right.
Audrey
Right.
understand.
But
It's that this is a recording of what she told her.
yes.
You don't understand that, Audrey?
We just got half of the 911 call. We just got we just got the part of the 911 caller
We just have to
giving out the
repeat what
information.
Candy said. We don't have they haven't released what Candy called and said directly.
Yes.
Out her own mouth. We're getting the dispatcher repeating what was said.
That's right.
So we're getting
we
the
know
one-way
what was
conversation.
reported to the 911 call. We don't know the actual conversation, and the information could have come from Dawn.
No, I think this was Candace's.
No, but what we're trying to say is it doesn't really matter. It's changed since the initial report to the dispatcher. That's the point we're making.
Yes.
Is that it has changed.
Yes. I mean, a 911 caller is not going to say, excuse me, just 1 second. 2 more minutes. Sorry. Okay. 1 second. The 911 caller is not going to say, sorry, my kids.
That's okay.
You know, the mother went for a walk, and if she didn't say she's not going to go for a walk, I mean, if she was going to say, that's a big difference from saying, hey, I went to my mom's camper and put a knee brace on her. I mean, you're not going to get
that's
those
something that's
mixed up.
interesting too, Justice, is that we need to also remember that the knee brace never came into play until much later. When she spins this story to the dispatch and to the news, the knee brace was never mentioned. That only came up with Chris Madonna. That's why I tell everybody, stay woke.
Precisely.
You've had ample enough time to mention the knee brace day one. That knee brace didn't come until weeks later when that man got a hold of you all and went to the property, the hole, and asked you to do play-by-play. That is pivotal because that's something you would have said day one to the news. Yeah, we're planting flowers. Mama wanted some help. The boys didn't want to help, so Summer volunteered. She went over here. I decided to help my mama put her knee brace on. It was 2 minutes. I walked back over, called. That was never mentioned.
That's right.
Never mentioned.
For somebody that has no concept of time.
Right.
I mean, you know, I'm going to tell you something. If I have no concept of time and my kid goes missing, I'm going to get it real quick.
Well, you should get it a whole lot.
Well, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna get the concept of time real quick. I'm gonna think. I'm not gonna say I don't know.
I had 4 kids, and believe me, I would know.
But she lived in a bubble, so she would not have track of time.
Well, I mean, if she nodded out, if she nodded out, she probably lost, time. She's probably lost years for that matter of time.
Well, yes, two sides to a story. You're right. Sometimes 3 or 4, but there's always the one. There are 2 sides to the story, and then there's the truth.
Yes.
And somewhere in the middle is the truth.
To the story, and then there's the truth.
Yes.
Where's that?
The problem with a story is that each person's perception of what somebody did or said will always differ. It's kind of like somebody said something and you're passing along to the next person, and then you're supposed to repeat verbatim what he or she said. Most people cannot get it right.
That's right.
You cannot
Miss Queen, I've got to jump off here. I've got to just take my kids to do something I promised them I would do.
Well, it is Saturday night.
It is Saturday. Thank you, Audrey. The Queen, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. If you're on later, if you accept invitations.
I'll probably do one for Monday, because that will be the 15th. That will mark 5 months to the day. If you'd like to join the Queen directly,
absolutely,
we can go toe to toe together.
All right, let's do it. All right, stay woke. That's right.
Bye, Justice.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Justice has such nice skin.
Let me ask you, do you honestly think that call that came from Candace calling in, or from what Don said happened?
Well, allegedly, Audrey, both of them called, remember?
Right, both of them supposedly called. We know Don called. But do we know Candace called and said, I walked away? Or do we know that came from Don? Do we know?
I don't know. Audrey, you got all these questions, and you're never going to get the answer. Haven't you figured that out, baby?
Well, that's what I'm asking, because you're sort of stating it as if it was. You're sort of stating it as if it was Candace, and do we know that?
No, see, all we telling you is we can only go by what the dispatcher repeats that she said. That's all we can go on. Is what the dispatcher said.
The dispatcher said the mother.
Okay. Yes, I got all that. Okay. So
the dispatcher said the mother. She didn't say the mother said.
Well, what other mother could it be? She ain't got the one mama, the baby.
Could have come from Don.
Okay, but what I'm saying,
why is Don driving the narrative of something that he was not there?
Listen, Audrey, if the dispatcher said, I spoke to the mother, this is what she said.
She didn't say, she didn't say I spoke to the mother. She said the mother walked away. She did not say the mother said.
Well, who do you think she talked to then? Audrey, I don't understand where you're going with this. Well, who do you think she talked to?
Don. She did not say the mother said she walked away. She said the mother walked away.
So what do you mean? So what are you trying to say? What she mean by she walked away?
I'm saying Don has driven the narrative from the minute one.
Okay.
Why? When he was not there.
I'm like Smokey. I thought that lady said that she said that. That's just throwing me off. I don't know.
I'll have to listen to it again, but from what I remember, she said the mother walked away. She did not say the mother said she walked away. We don't know what Candace said, and we don't know what Donald said. To the dispatch. And did they call the dispatch when Candace called? Did they call the dispatch after Candace called? We don't know. All we know is the child is gone. and the mother does. Candace does not care to ask, please find my daughter. She's not asking for help for anyone to find her daughter. She never has. And I don't care how backwoods or how messed up you are in the head. If you wanted your daughter found, you would ask for help.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Okay. Well, Audrey, you getting yourself all worked up. Ain't you done figured out you're never going to know the truth until they decide they want to reveal to us who said what?
Yeah, I figured it out, but I mean, the questions, the things that were stated on Dr. Phil as fact, I just don't see. That's where I want to know where he got his facts from.
Well, in the end, it goes back to what you're doing right now. You going back and forth on saying who said what to the dispatcher. Everything you got is either he went and asked somebody or he got it from Don and Candy and this behavior panel.
And don't you think he should have asked that before he put it on national television?
Okay, but think about
when
what
he's stating,
when do people really listen?
When he's stating something to the world as fact, he should say, this is where it came from.
Audrey, you know good and well that when people spin a story, we really don't know what is the truth, who said what really happened. We don't know. We just know this is their version. Okay, so then they go talk to somebody such as Dr. Phil. Then they go spin their version of Dr. Phil. Naturally, he doesn't know what the hell happened in Dollarville. He has no idea what the hell happened in Rogersville. Because hell, we don't know. He can't do nothing but spin back what they just said.
When he got the information, when he's stating something as fact, he should say where he got the information from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because when he doesn't do that, it leaves it out there as, okay, this is what happened.
Well,
as a fact. And that's negligent.
Well, let me tell you something. If you've seen all the things that's been said on social media pertaining to this case and other cases alike, people believe anything that they hear, even when it doesn't come from the family that's involved in the story. You understand what I'm saying? And you know that.
At least on social media, you have to say, in my opinion.
But they don't.
Or where you have.
Let me tell you something.
Most of the time.
Listen, I put a source up here every day. I come up here and talk about a story because I know somebody will argue me down. Somebody will still come in the chat and question what I just said with a source. And I tell people, don't argue with me about what the source said. Go to the source. Because in the end, the source is doing the same thing I'm doing. The source is bringing you something somebody said to them. It doesn't mean that it's true. It's just that's what was said. Just like if I went up to the news reporter and said, on the 15th, I wore a black dress, black shoes, white hat. I went to church. After church, I went home, ate a turkey dinner. The reporter doesn't know no more than what you just told them. You understand what I'm saying?
But
so
you
who am
don't
I to
state
argue
that.
with what they said?
You don't state that. You don't state that as fact on worldwide television as fact.
Well, he did. And you sound awfully perturbed, ma'am.
I am awfully perturbed at Dr. Phil because
Audrey, you want to fight up here? You went.
I want to fight with Dr. Phil because I want to know where he got his facts from.
Well,
I think he should have had to state where he got his facts from. That's what I'm aggravated.
Well, look, Audrey,
I'm not aggravated with you.
No, but listen, go to his website and say it on his webpage. Say it.
That's what
I think he should hear it.
Well, I will. Don't you agree?
Well,
do you agree?
Look,
or do you think he should be able to get up there and state things as facts that he has without saying where he got it from?
It's my opinion, is what I say. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
Right. So that's on Dr. Phil to say, I think you all didn't have anything to do with the disappearance of your child. I don't think you all harmed your kids. But what I found
Exactly.
interesting is when he said that, he asked her 2 times. He asked them both 2 times back to back. Did you hurt your kid? Did you hurt your kid? So my thing is, well, damn, you just said they didn't do it. Then why the hell you asked them 2 times did they do it?
Exactly. And therein lies the problem.
Just I don't know.
And therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
He's speaking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people hear that don't keep up with this case is what Dr. Phil stated as fact.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
That's
going to
the
cost them in
problem.
the end. I think in the end, once the dust settles with everything, and just like we're talking about this now, Dr. Phil will get wind of people saying, "Hey, why did you say that when you don't know this couple? You don't know all the things they've been into. You even said that you all have a past. You have been involved with somebody. Perhaps that somebody came and took your kid. You got to own that. You got to own that you said it."
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is how he got his information. And that's what I'm aggravated.
Tiny. Cut it out. Well,
What
he
I'm
got it from the
aggravated.
people that he's interviewing. Let's tell it. Keep
What?
playing. He got it from the people who he has on his show, dear.
Did he state that? No.
Well, who else would he have got it from, Audrey? Now, Audrey, don't start this nonsense now. You know damn well he done flew them out there and talked to these two. Who else would have told them the story but the two?
I don't know. He stated it as fact. He didn't say, you told me. He stated it like it was the gospel.
Well, let's do this. We're going to assume it came from Don and Candy Wells. How about that?
Okay, if we assume that, then Dr. Phil's lost some of his morals.
Janet says it was a worthless interview. Do you agree?
It was. I agree it was worthless.
Okay. Anybody else come up and hit this link before I check out here? I'm at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm going to check out here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Anybody else had something they'd like to say? Audrey, what's your take on everything? You believe it's worthless? Somebody in the chat says it's worthless. Do you think they need to continue talking? They do have a gag order in place. I do find it weird today they mentioned that they don't know when the gag order got in place. That doesn't make sense because that came out months ago that the gag order was in place. But then they put an article up a week ago saying we don't really know when I think they were trying to say the original gag order, and I thought, wait a minute, you all are going backwards now. What are you saying?
What I think Dr. Phil did harm. I think Dr. Phil did more harm than he could have ever done good.
And the fact that he wants to throw that in there, I don't want to talk to nobody else, or I need to be quiet. I done foolish things and going to social media. Social media weren't the people you're supposed to be going to anyway. That's what the law officials are for in the TBI. I'm not a law official. So you should have been coming to YouTube to talk to anybody about it any damn way. You should have been talking to the FBI because those are the people that's got the tools to find your kid. That's how I look at it. YouTube don't have no tools in finding children and missing people. And now, if a person wants to share their story, that's fine. Well, but you've gone out of control with it.
In YouTube world, it's always, it's everybody's opinion. On Dr. Phil, when you stated as fact, that's a little bit different.
Social media is a person's opinion, and that's what people don't seem to understand. That's why I let people know this is a commentary channel. I do not know what happened where. I give my opinion. I let other people give their opinion, but other than that, I have no facts to the what happened.
Exactly right.
California, Rogersville. I have no idea. I was not there. All I know is the story sounds fishy. It sounds jacked up.
Dr. Phil.
Just sounds jacked up to me. Sounds very jacked up.
Dr. Phil stated it as fact like it was the gospel. And that's what I have an issue with.
You are really riding on that.
Big time.
Thank you, Shavonda.
It burns me up.
I see, because you just going on and on with
it. In my opinion. I know, I'll stop. It's just aggravating, that's all.
But as Hagen says, I don't think, really, Dr. Phil did his homework. Bridget said he was extremely vague and forgiving with his deliverance. I've noticed, and I'm not a huge Dr. P fan, but usually when they do stories like this on ongoing cases, they get a statement or have a rep from LE heading the case. I agree with that statement right there. You're right. Dr. Phil should have had law officials give a statement. I agree. I totally agree with that comment.
Thank you.
I totally
Thank you. Thank you.
Prayer garden, 100%
Thank
prayer
you.
garden.
Prayer garden. Oh my God, not prayer garden. Please, no.
Somebody said we need prayer garden. Okay.
Please, no.
But I'm telling you, what's strange is if we go back to the 6:30 timeline, there's pictures allegedly posted before that of Summer in a kitchen. So is that an old picture? You posted it to throw us off because you knew you were going to go to the police and report her missing? Or was the child alive before then and then something happened and then you called it 6:30, 6:27? See, it's very you don't know what to believe. You don't know what to believe.
Queen, she took that post down after she put it up. There now.
Sunset has a good point. C&D would shut down if you say you're still a suspect. Now answer some questions. Let's address, before I get out of here, let's address Jody Sue. Is she aiding the BS or what? Go.
Is she what?
Is she aiding the Don and Candy narrative or riding this train of clout chasing the neighbor that says she heard a scream?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that okay if
I really don't know. I haven't listened.
You've been sitting up here this whole time and ain't said nothing, Savannah. Good Lord.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be rude and interrupt. That's why.
Yeah, well, you know, Audrey got to take a breath. She's about to crack up here.
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude, but
go ahead and talk. I gotta take something right quick. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that Jody Sue probably she definitely knows more than what she's telling. I know because obviously she was the neighbor and she went to the home frequently, so I do believe she knows more than what she's letting on. But that's my opinion. Is my sound okay?
Yeah, you're fine, but I thought you were going to say more than that.
Can I just add something really quick?
What happened to the kids, Savannah? Real quick, what happened to the little girl?
Well, I just want to add something I feel is extremely important. Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Oh Lord, where is everybody? I think I'm gonna have to continue this.
Can you hear me?
This conversation.
Can you hear me?
Savannah,
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Audrey
me?
blocked herself off with the sound.
I took out my.
I can hear you.
Did heal bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well,
Queen. You want to donate to the channel? $Beganji 129 Cash App. We're going to continue this conversation a little bit later because I'm topping at 3 hours. I just think there comes a point when a person needs to know when to be quiet, and that's whether you're innocent or guilty of knowledge thereof, complicit. You committed the crime. You got to know when to be quiet, and this is why they tell you to get an attorney and shut your mouth. The Wells are misfits to me. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to be a misfit, tainted, but I don't agree with throwing the church in there on a whim whenever you feel like mentioning the church. Here as of late, you just now starting to mention the church again. Well, what did the church think of you now, Mr. Wells and Miss Wells, Mrs. Wells? I'd like to know that. What do you think the church thinks of you now, Donald Wells? All your cussing and fussing and sitting on toilet seats and getting in cahoots with all these YouTubers, cussing out one YouTuber recently, talking filthy mouth, nasty, backstabbing the people who you've gone and talked to, trying to make up wild stories to get other people in cahoots, YouTubers. You've done a lot of nasty things for somebody that's supposed to be turning their life around, throwing out church in there. You're trying to turn your life around. You want your children to be in the church, but you and your wife have been poor examples of people that are Christian and trying to live the Christian way. Are we all tainted, flawed, potty mouths, bad attitudes? Yes. And Christians? Yes. But you've taken Christianity to a whole new level. And I don't think you ever cared about church. I don't think you ever cared about being a Christian. I don't think you ever cared about your children, the ones you have now. originally with her, Candy, or the ones you had before. Because you see, you never cared about yourself. So there's no way you could have cared about your children. And that's why you're in this mess you're in right now with social media, law enforcement, TBI, all these people on social media. Don't you see in the end, these YouTubers don't care a damn thing about you? The law officials don't care anything about you. I doubt that these people at church care anything about you, because right now, those same people who were originally supporting you and your family, they're probably thinking what a mistake we've made by being nice to you, kind to you, welcoming you in the church, trying to be objective, trying to be, nice people, not judge you by the way you look, the way you sound. And you've come in this church and turned it upside down with all this buffoonery. You're a joke and you're a disgrace because you've used the church as a crutch. You've pimped out Jesus. And that's where I draw the line with your ass. I don't do that. That pimping Jesus stuff, I ain't with it, and it ain't cute because it's blasphemous. You either gonna try to walk the walk or get the hell off the fence and go do Donald Wells, Candy Wells. There's no way I even believe that you even go to church now, because what can you actually get out of church? Because you're sure not taking nothing out the church into this YouTube sensation and social media sensation and farce and narrative of the child being abducted. You've used the church. You've used those church people. All you do is talk about yourself. Your wife only talks about herself. She goes on a national show and all she says is, what can you do for me? That tells me everything I need to know. Once again, you all were never in it for the children. You were never in it for Summer. You don't care about anybody but yourselves. You're self-serving, you're grand narcissist. And 9 times out of 10, you all harmed Summer Wells or you aided her to get gone, either alive or deceased. You're terrible people. And there's really no help for people like you. And I tell people that all the time. There's certain types of people man can do nothing with, and you all are those types of people. You could beat your heads against a rock, and you would have learned nothing by the next damn day because you don't care about yourself. You don't even care about yourself, so you couldn't possibly care about 4 itty-bitty spiders. You're a disgrace. You're a damn disgrace. And I'm sick of talking about you all. And I'm sick of every time I look up a notification from WJHL. I'm sick of the interviews with YouTubers. Ain't you learned anything from YouTube? This ain't the place to be talking. And you still don't get it. And then you want to go back to the news and say, oh, we shouldn't be talking to somebody on YouTube. Oh, we went to YouTube. We went to social media to get help. Well, how's that working for you?
I agree.
It ain't. Thank you for joining me.
Is that okay if we...
Thank you, Ms. Audrey, Savannah. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will continue this discussion a little bit later, and you all have a safe weekend. This is Everyday Genetics. Thank you all.